a fucking nightmare, to be honest.
Also
Especially,
David.
yeah, this is the one who was at work. I mean, we were supposed to do it way before as well.
Yeah, that was your fault.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm going to the military, so that's why I had to kind of rush it as well. Then there's Alpha with work. Even though it's not really a big problem at times, because most of the times you're free by the looks of it.
Well, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Alpha's always free.
And Dennis, what was your reason on Friday to not do a podcast?
What, last Friday? Or
Yeah, this Friday that was just done.
The one 2 days.
something.
We
Sounds like
could
we
have
have to
really done it.
Friday I was playing poker.
That's the reason? Don't you care?
Yes.
Don't you care about the ASF community?
I do, but poker. Had to clear the table, you know.
Sell an absolute sellout.
I'm a money hole, can I say.
Where's the money then?
I'm playing for you know what I mean.
For what
Also-
community?
Roti, technical question. Is it just me or is the stream actually fairly quiet?
I actually don't know.
There's a little slider at the bottom that lets you like control the volume for stream, yeah? Yeah, there you go.
Yes, it looks
Yeah,
fine.
you
I
know
mean,
how
it's
I have
barely
that
peaking
maximum
yellow,
multiplier?
so
Give them
I don't know.
absolute
How's it for everyone else? Do I need to up the volume or?
I'm pretty sure if I was on speakers, I'd have to turn up pretty hard. It's the only reason I can actually hear it somewhat is because I'm on headphones right now. But I suppose everyone has already cranked their headphones to shit, so...
Songs, Alpha's voice is a bit low. That can be changed, yes. Before it was way too
kinda
loud.
quiet as well, but
Yeah, it was louder before, so. Volume is fine. That bit quiet.
Alpha's always quiet.
Well, I mean,
It's
I was
buffering
working on
slightly.
my... I was working on my microphone situation, right? And then, yeah. And everyone was like, no, do the usual. And the thing is, the usual is shit. It's this stupid
Hey,
€5
It
microphone.
was fucking Dennis, okay? I said it's
It is
fine.
better.
Ugh,
This is honestly better.
I
I
don't
mean,
really
since I
fucking
can't
mind.
see my monitors right now in my sound booth, I may as well just hold the microphone in a better position. I guess that works.
Give everyone else a picture. Alpha just has a fucking blanket on top of his head. Just dumping there.
Yeah, imagine with the cams.
Actually getting warm under here.
Just camera inside the blanket
Alfie.
with the small flashlight inside.
Alpha ASMR stream 1. Perfect.
No.
So, Roti, before my sound booth gets a little too warm, let's go. Let's grind the topics. And
Alright.
everyone in chat, if audio is shit in any way, shape, or form, complain. We can't guarantee we're taking you seriously, but complain.
Well, there's a slight problem. I kind of fucked up connecting my controller, so I can't play Dangerous Effect.
Wait, what?
It counts me as player 2, but it needs to be player 1 because if my controller gets disconnected once, I cannot reconnect it normally. I have to first disconnect. You know the button that basically allows you to connect to PlayStation or whatever the fuck.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I need to press that button. It disconnects the Xbox One controller. Then I need to disconnect the USB of the receiver, put it back in, and then connect it. If I do it, if I don't disconnect it, it counts as the first one, like the first controller, getting back, but also connecting the second one. And on the controller, it's connected as a second one. It's so complicated. It's so stupid as well.
Just fix it, Jesus.
How the fuck do I fix it?
I don't know.
There's no
Alt
fucking fix
F4
for
or
it.
something. Nice.
Did you try turning it off and back on again?
Yes.
I was gonna say the
multiple
reckon
times.
like, you know, fucks a few things over.
And you can, I can literally just keep going like that. I mean,
Just play on keyboard, lol.
I mean,
yeah.
it's Tetris.
Yeah, so one thing you probably could play on keyboard, I still do pretty well.
No, actually, I'm better with controller. That's the thing. That's the issue.
Just get one of those old arcade controller type thingies. Play on that.
Arcade. Why Why arcade?
You have the joystick and the like 8 buttons on the side, that kind of thing.
I think Dennis is talking about a fight stick, the things you use for like real competitive Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Yes, anything that was non arcade from back in the day.
Fair enough, I guess. Alright, so should we actually get to the topic?
Well, yes, continue.
You're the one that has them, like.
Pretty sure I shared it as well, like way back then, but...
Hang on, let me scroll up in TeamSpeak chat history for, what, 3
Now.
weeks?
a month. For a month it's been planned, probably. Alright, so the first topic is, I guess technically it's the third topic because introduction and podcast. It's a history of, and first up is Dennis, the senior dickhead, admin.
Okay, to be honest, I found the plan. Actually, says senior admin in there, so fuck you for the dickhead bit. History of what? Well, you see, my mum and my dad, they loved each other a lot. And I'll fast forward a bit.
Temporarily, anyways.
Well, how did you get admin and how did you... Fuck it out.
That was fucking savage as fuck, Jesus Christ.
Seriously savage.
Jesus, Alfie. Oh, he finally got back from all these years of me roasting him. Okay, yeah, so how did I get admin?
Yeah,
okay, so when I was trial mod, I subbed Alpha nudes. He loved them, by the way. On a
Still have them in my wank bank.
on a serious note, I don't know, I was actually pretty active back then.
If you can imagine.
If you can imagine.
if any can remember that time.
Yeah, if any can remember it. I had pretty much no life whatsoever, like in real life. There was actually like school, and then come home and just play games. And like JCT was the game at the time, so I mean, hey.
Wait, so what changed since then? Minus the dog walking every day.
Dog walking, girlfriend, friends, actually having a life, yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I think I'll keep the chick roasts mostly outside of this podcast, just because I'm actually nice.
Rotty probably won't, but hey.
I know. Someone has to lead by example.
I know, right? Yeah, back then it's pretty active, I guess.
I was actually surprised when I got back after a long hiatus that I went to Alpha and said like, oh, do you need help like with moderating and all that stuff? And he said, yeah, sure, just talk to Dennis. Who the fuck is Dennis? This is just admin who deals with new staff. Fucking got into chat with you. A few hours later, I called you a dickhead.
Pretty much.
Every
Nothing new.
ever.
I mean, in England, it's a pretty normal thing. But hey,
there's better words than just dickhead.
Usually it's cunt, but hey,
yeah,
close enough.
Close enough.
You know?
All right.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times. Yeah, you know how it is.
Better question.
Yeah.
Why aren't you active anymore?
Kind of got burnt out. Not even with just JC, like a lot of games. I barely play any game for like more than a day now without taking like another massive break from it because it's just, I lost motivation for gaming a lot. I even buy a game, play for like a few days, and even if I don't finish, I just get burned out from it. And just like stop, and I come back to like a year later or something, and just like, yeah, let's play this for another day, and then leave it again.
I can fully confirm this, by the way.
Yeah, also that's living proof here. Kind of comes down to like, I guess in real life, I just didn't have a lot of shit that I was doing. It was just kind of all like monotone, same shit every day. So I just kind of got bored of everything pretty much. But now I would have a full-time job starting, I think, the 3rd or the 10th. Not confirmed yet because of some stuff with work. But hoping that will actually kind of boost motivation because I'll be actually something new. And yeah, responsibility and stuff.
To be
feels good.
A head admin, well, senior admin, or
petition to change the head admin. Thank you, because I obviously get so much head. Anyways,
clearly.
Wow.
Anyway.
Modern Alpha. Yeah.
Anything else to add to that story?
Yes, from my side, Dennis, is this your attempt of convincing me not to demote you right now?
Yes, give me another 2 months, thank you.
We shall talk after this podcast.
Oh, Dennis in trouble.
When have I not been in trouble?
Alright, well, I guess next up is Alpha then. How did you become the owner? I mean, I think it's better to start with the knowledge.
Stuff from Padraig.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask what makes sense where I start. Do I start where how I got into Just Cause in the first place, or
yes. Very beginning?
Okay, so everyone take a seat. We're gonna tell a story here. So a long time ago, in a land far, far away, it's the year of our Lord 2014. Just Cause 2 multiplayer was actually popular. Yeah, I discovered it randomly on when I bought Just Cause 2 on Steam. I owned it cracked beforehand, but I thought, hey, it's on sale. It costs like €3. Why not just actually get back into it and legitimately this time? And I saw Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod as a DLC. I was like, okay, let's give that a try, I guess. I've seen some random machinima videos about it back then, you know, when machinima was still a thing. And I found out that it's actually pretty interesting, you know, doing road trips with people, hanging out with people. Back then there were a lot of people in the game who you could just hang out with, chill with, and just have a fun time with. Started off on a server by a guy called Mr. FF1. It was a free roam server, pretty standard copy and paste kind of free roam thing. You know, like you still have these days, but you had even more of them back then. And on there I met people like King or Cap, who most of you probably don't know anymore, but King is like the one person who's still active from these times back then. He was already an admin on that server by the time I started playing there. And yeah, I mean, I was kind of like Dennis said earlier, where I would just be in school, then get home, and then just play games. And same for me, the game was Just Cause at that time. So I would just spend my days and nights just playing on that server until I eventually ended up getting admin on there. However, the server closed down in, I think, fall of 2014. I think it was a matter of motivation on the owner's side. And so people kind of dispersed across several different servers, mostly free roam servers, which I didn't really like at the time. And since I was already getting into Just Cause coding and I started discovering that crazy world for myself, I said to myself, okay, why not try to have my own free roam server? The problem is back then I didn't have the hosting resources to actually host one myself. So I went around, I looked at servers. I was kind of already giving up because I didn't really find too many good servers, and I started just looking around to see how shit servers are. So I found this server called Nologam, which was also more of a copy and paste free roam server back then. And I started complaining about how shit the coding was, as you know me. And one of the staff members on there was like, why don't you like send us an email about this and we might look into it. And that response kind of caught me off guard. I was expecting to be banned as from like Hasbro's, which was another server back then where the same happened. And so I actually did write them an email. Padraig, the owner of Nologam, got back to me, and he said, "Yeah, this is doable, and thank you for your suggestions." And then he started asking, "Do you know how to do these kinds of things?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have some coding experience in this game. I can see what I can do." And of course, the rest is history. From there on, I just started getting more and more into Nologam. They hired me as a coder officially. But I kind of started running the server also from an administrative side. So I, at some point, took care of the staff hiring and firing. I made the rules on the server for the most part. I enforced the rules. On top of the coding, I also did a lot of moderating on that server. And yeah, just overall, it was basically my life, that server back then. But there was some trouble with Padraig. Mainly a conflict of interest between what he wanted out of his community and what I wanted out of his community. His plan was to have a a massive community with multiple servers for multiple different games. Yeah, basically conflicting interests, really, pretty much. My idea was I just wanted the Just Cause server. I was only interested in Just Cause. I didn't care about Minecraft servers or Gary's mod servers or Killing Floor servers.
5M servers.
That wasn't actually a thing back then.
They actually made Just Cause 3 server as well.
Yes.
So that was a thing as well.
Only briefly, but without my input, anyways.
And CS:GO, where the admin
CS:GO,
was,
yes.
Where the admin was was it Indian guy?
Yeah, Naeem, aka Nodi. Yeah, that's the
Nodi.
guy.
And I actually offered to be an admin myself because I had somewhat of an experience with CS:GO and CS:GO servers. Well, not CS:GO servers, but 1.6 servers. Because I played shit ton of 1.6 back in the day, and for some reason that was completely brushed away, and they went with the worst player in CS:GO, to be honest, because he played like shit.
I think you were actually turned down because of your temper back then.
Imagine.
But yeah, so
if I was that pissed off at the time. Was it that time? I'm pretty sure it was like way later when I got like super pissed off at everything.
There was a time when you weren't?
Yes, believe it or not, when I actually started, you know.
That's a big X to doubt.
What I've said. Nicely fucked up though with the left placement, by the way.
Fuck you. Fuck.
Okay,
Fuck
so
you, seriously.
So-
I fucked it up again.
guys, are you done screwing up?
Yes.
He's not.
Fuck
Okay, I will just continue. So yeah, we had a conflict of interest in terms of he wanted a big gaming community, I wanted the Just Cause server. I didn't really care about the rest, and I didn't really like all this promotion of the fancy new ideas he had, of which you would know there wouldn't be a big thing. Like he always marketed it as being the next big thing, or you know, just trying to divert attention from Just Cause over to these things, because of course he wanted multiple popular games and not just depend on Just Cause and me running Just Cause for his entire community to be popular. So yeah, I had a few staff members on my side who are also just of the opinion that Nola Game should just focus on Just Cause and not try to spawn random projects nobody actually asked for. And we got into fights a couple of times during my time in Nologam, both with between me and Padraig, but also between other staff members and some staff members who were more on his side and, you know, reflected his view a bit more. And yeah, eventually I got kicked out once in 2015, I believe. But he changed his mind and hired me back the next day, including 2 people who he fired along with me. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
True Irish fashion. Fuck you, come back.
Well, I think the main reason why he decided to take me back was because he realized there'd be some kind of issue.
Someone else, what game it is? Tetris Effect.
Yes,
Let me
it's
change
Tetris
that.
Effect.
Because he was kind of concerned about copyright for the scripts, essentially, because I owned most of the code, or I wrote most of the code behind that server, and I think he was scared to get into legal trouble if I was to actually go that far.
Ooh.
I mean, it's somewhat justified. He knew I was capable of some crazy things.
But would you actually like go into full legal battle?
No. Realistically speaking, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Try to sue someone without a proper legal basis in another country. Yeah, KK. Thank you very much. Bye.
I mean, not only that, but it's like, isn't it like a bit of a gray area? I mean, dying game. fucking.
The dying game isn't the thing here. The gray area is that there's just no contractual basis. I never entered a contract which would, like, there's no real legal document as a basis for who owns what parts of the scripts, especially because I also pushed these onto his server. So I think in terms of law, it would be seen like me giving these to him without expecting him to keep them private or to obey if I say don't use them anymore. So yeah, obviously that didn't work out. But yeah, the second time was in 2017. We had another big argument, and I ended up getting kicked out for good this time around. The difference was at that time I had a server. I had all the capabilities to host my own server. So I thought, okay, this time I'm just gonna say okay, thanks, bye, and start to run my own show. So I basically created a clone of Nologam in the hopes of people switching over to my server instead. It helped that his part of the server was basically falling apart at that time. So the switchover actually worked out. And from then on, it was still mostly the same code as Nologam, but it was fully under my leadership. And I basically finally achieved what I wanted to achieve. I mean, over the years, the popularity of the servers had changed. When I first joined, it was the NerdCube server that was the most popular, and I actually did offer to code for them for about a month until I got into a disagreement with their people as well and got kicked out again. But then
also, quick interruption.
Go ahead.
I like how we absolutely brushed over 2 topics as well with that talk, because it was history of Alpha Salt Factory. I kind of knew that would be like completely brushed through already with the history of you being the owner, but also remembering Nologam and Downfall. That was the next topic.
I mean, now that you said it, I shall focus more about my part, and then I can just make some additions in these other sections.
It's fine. We can improvise. Doesn't really.
No, I was just trying to not cramp all of this into one big segment, but I guess I can just.
Yeah, you can just
do that while I'm at it. So and yeah, and then like around mid 2016, like I think it was only about a month after the NerdCube people kicked me out again, was when NerdCube the server shut down, and it was a bit of a battle for the first place server. And since then, Nologam was the top server in Just Cause 2. So when I split apart in 2017, my server took that spot. So I literally won at that point. I still had to deal with all the moderation, all the community problems, and all of the coding that was on my table, but at least I was my own master, finally. And my work paid off. And yeah, that's since then not much has changed, at least from my perspective. I'm still running the top server in this game. I still have to deal with all the things around it. Staff has changed, of course, a lot, and the community has changed, but from my point of view, it's still the same story.
Fair enough. So that's pretty much complete history of ASF, to be honest.
I did cut some corners.
I mean, still, it's pretty good description. I mean, when you left, got kicked out of Nologam staff. I mean, it was you making another server that's complete copy. It wasn't even copy. It was completely yours, to be honest. Like your code and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you got kicked out, I think the main players, like the main core players, were like, okay, he got kicked out. We know Alpha. Alpha is active. Fuck Patrick. Patrick is fucking always pissed off whenever he gets on. Always fucking yells at us. Fuck him. Let's join Alpha.
Yes, and I suppose this is as good a time as any to actually give a shout out to my community back then. There were many people. One I definitely remember was Rosa, and of course all of the staff members who are more on my side than on Padrake's, who would rally people to play on my server instead of his. Some people would go a bit crazy and just go on his server, spam the chat, and just, basically make his place a shithole and spam people to join my server. But it was a form of support, I suppose. So I am thankful for that. And there were definitely people who did pay attention to the things going on. The problem is, in the grand scheme of things, even back then, randoms already took a solid chunk of the player base. So even with the more core players and their fellow faction members being rallied to come to my server, there was still a bunch of the population who just didn't really care for what was going on in the background. They just cared for the server. They had this one server. They would open the server browser, see the top server on the list, and join it, pretty much. They didn't really care who was running it or what the story behind it was. So I think without his server just going to shit at that time on a technical level, people wouldn't have actually switched reliably. I would have probably had a 50-50 kind of split for a long time. So, yeah.
I don't know actually about that, because considering Patrick's attitude and everything, I mean, it was to be honest, my experience with Patrick was absolute garbage. I mean, where I was actually trial moderator, if you remember, in Nologam first, but it failed, and I asked for a reason, like I asked it from him, but he pretty much didn't give it to me at all. Like, he was so minimum with the fucking, with his talk, fucking not.
Should have went to Alpha.
I mean, I think I asked. Did I ask you, Alpha?
I really can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
The thing is, I suppose what happened back then was, since I was in charge of stuff for the most part, and Patty was mostly just overlooking things, it was actually me or like my higher staff members who made the decision. So Padraig probably didn't actually know. He just mostly wanted to get rid of you.
Yeah, and thing is, that's how I got my trusted as well. I failed trial, but he was like, but you're like a main player and everything, you're like really popular amongst people, we'll give you trusted. I was like, okay, sure, I mean, what does it do? Absolutely nothing. Well, why the fuck are you giving it to me then? And yeah.
Pat on the back, you know.
Was that actually what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's how I got my first trusted.
I really forgot all those crazy details. I mean, trusted nowadays, it's mostly just more of a reward kind of, you know, like a veteran type of thing for former staff members. I didn't realize I actually used it for something else before I made that decision.
I actually did not know that. I didn't know what kind of meaning it had back then.
I think it didn't have one.
Yeah, it didn't have one. But I think when I first got demoted in ASF was when, I don't know, either of you was talking about it, like, should you give trusted to me? I was like, I already had trusted before, like, why the fuck would you take it away from me? And that's when it was discussed, when should you give trusted, when you shouldn't. And I think in the end it was like trusted will, people get trusted if they get demoted or leave the staff when they are staff, aka trials won't get it.
Yes, that was definitely a topic at some point. And the problem was we had someone who never passed trial. I believe that was you, who had trusted at that time, and it was a bit of a conflict there because my opinion was we shouldn't actually give trusted to failed trials. And that's pretty much
I didn't fail trial. I didn't fail trial. Pretty sure.
And you got mod. You got the mod from mod.
Yeah. I got mod twice because I was trial 3 times. 2 times in ASF, 1 time in Nologam.
One thing I see in the chat right now that I would like to address is correct me if I'm wrong, but Fox never had trusted.
Fox never had
correct,
trusted.
I'm pretty sure. I can probably check. Emails.
No.
Oh, Dennis, you won't find that in your emails.
Yeah, Dennis, it's way back when you arrived. When the Jesus Dennis arrived. But yeah,
Actually, a second misconception also to address. Trusted people do not have permissions.
Yeah,
Trusted is literally just vanity. The only extra
Yeah,
command they
nuance,
get
okay.
is the ability to hide their tag, just like donors.
I mean, yeah, literally, trusted is donors,
Donor,
but with
yeah.
a different tag and different
Star.
symbol. Well, star. Yeah. We literally
Actually,
have.
I believe trusted get neons, so it kind of counts like donors.
Same as
Yeah,
ours,
that's what I
the same.
said. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a donor to get these if you're trusted. So it kind of replaces donors in some aspects.
Wait, what?
What?
That's what I said. Trusted is like donor.
Alfie,
Did
why are you
brain crash?
confused?
Yes and no.
What's wrong, Alfie? Talk us through this. Come on.
What? I think you people got more confused. No, I agree that it gives you the same as donors. It just
Yes.
you can
Yeah,
have both at the same time,
Yeah, but
unlike
doesn't matter
normal
much.
rank.
Yeah, but trusted
Like,
overrides donor. Yeah.
I'm thinking more about the permission level of things because you can be donor and be a staff member at the same time.
Pretty sure a
But-
bunch of them are. Fish is, I
Yes,
know that much.
well, a few of them are. I think also Link.
Draki, 100%.
I mean, I
Link,
could,
yes.
I could
PP,
also
yes.
be a donor because
Druk,
I've
not.
gifted both of
Draki
you
isn't,
fucking
really.
games.
Or
Ah,
we
Draki is.
No, Truck is.
Draki
But
is, it
that
just
means
looks
we
in
never
Denmark.
gave him his role on Discord.
He left
Fucking
multiple
let me
times.
press my Windows button. Fuck my life.
Thing is, he left multiple times in Discord way back then when
Staff
he was
chat, roles.
Dennis,
Oh,
if you
much
don't
easier.
use role persist, I'm gonna kick your ass.
If he leaves, that's his problem at that point.
We give everyone role persist from donors and trusted these days. Fucking stop being extra.
And this
Sure.
this here, ladies and gentlemen, is a very typical chat between Dennis and Alpha. This is what I hear every day when they're
Yeah, pretty
on.
much.
This is fairly harmless, to be honest.
I mean,
Could be worse.
it's actually very, very, very polite right now. Like everything is very controlled and everything, but because usually, I mean, Alpha gets so loud that his microphone will literally go quieter.
I think that makes sense as well.
In TeamSpeak logic, it does. It automatically controls the gain and just goes down because you just go too loud. But if you hit that point, you really know you're going crazy.
Time to go night night.
Who goes night night, Dennis?
Time for you to go night night when you start screaming that bad.
Sounds about right. By the way, R0TT, I just started hosting you, so thank me for those all extra viewers that I'm giving you.
0, you mean?
Actually, that's a good question. Do you get a notification if that someone started broadcasting if you just start hosting someone?
But I don't know if I did. I didn't pay attention.
If you guys check your emails, I think both of you are following me. You should see an email if you actually get an email for hosting someone.
You don't.
God damn it. Yeah, okay, then you legitimately get no viewers. But hey, I'm hosting you, so if anyone right now at this point in time finds my Twitch channel, he's gonna see this happening. See, I took care of everything.
Amazing.
I know, right? But to get A back on topic and B back to the Nologam topic just one more time, I want to say, while Pedreg was a bit of a questionable character, I understand him. And this was kind of a process that kicked in after I switched over to running my own show. That because now I'm in the position where I am also someone who runs a community. Like, of course, my priorities for my community are a lot different. I know that I'm running a Just Cause community, and I don't try to make more of it. But I know the struggle to be a community owner and actually just try to expand your community. I know there's always this kind of pressure going on in you. And for what it's worth, he didn't do a lot wrong in that aspect. He always put a lot of hope into creating his new games or his reworks or his restructures. He just didn't realize that nobody was actually wanted it, and he got very frustrated over it. But for the most part, I wasn't the nicest person back then either. Gonna have to admit that.
Yeah.
Alpha, have you seen his blog anytime recently?
A couple
Do we
weeks
even want to
ago.
talk about it?
There's just a post on the 1st of January that I was like, oh, okay.
Fuck my.
What was it about?
Thing
Was
is-
it again
there we go.
WWE?
Nah, his dad.
Oh,
That one.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
There's a bunch of like fucking weeb shit recently.
Not WWE? What the fuck?
I don't see WWE now actually. As a
Did he
WWE.
finally grow up to a weeb?
No, Rude.
Wait, there's no WWE one anymore. What?
I think that's on a separate blog.
Yeah, possibly.
No.
He's very
I mean,
organized.
it makes
you
sense.
know.
Pedrake.blog is his like more personal one, and then he has this WWE something .blog for his predictions and his whatever. Not my world.
Wrestling.blog. He actually got
There
that.
you go. Yeah, that's the one.
I'm actually surprised we actually get that.
A .blog is fairly new. It's a GTLD. So, and since he works for a company that does hosting and domains, he probably got pretty quick access to it. I mean, that's how he
spelled
got.
it wrong. That's why.
Say again?
He ever spelled it wrong, or he got the name differently. Nah, it's just down. Never mind.
Oopsies.
Maybe he grew up.
Also, R0TT, what am I seeing on stream right now?
That's a theater mode. So, pretty much if you're not like playing or anything, you can just put theater mode. So, it just shows.
Well, keep playing so I can make
things.
fun of you. Jesus Christ.
It's fucking distracting. That's the problem.
Just don't get distracted, lol.
Rosa, we did talk about the beginning of ASF. Well, I briefly mentioned it, but like, what would you like to know?
Beginning of ASF. Oof.
I mean,
Yeah,
I remember it was a
wait for
messy
the
time
delay.
because I was reworking all the permissions for every staff member. I had to look into who I want to keep, who I don't want to keep. I basically had to go through the entire brewery branding, remove Nologam from everything where it said it. Did you know Nologam is actually a registered company in Ireland?
Is it?
Yeah, Padraig went through that effort at some point. It's just a number, but it doesn't come with any like fees. I'm not sure about the legal status, but it's a thing.
Ah, actually no, it's not. Actually, is it? Let me check something. There's a site that the UK government has for like checking companies and stuff. I'm not sure if it covers Ireland, but let's see.
I suppose not.
Nolo Games Limited. No, it doesn't. God damn it.
Well, you have to go to the company's website of the Company Registration Office of Ireland.
Yeah, it's gay.
There.
Obviously.
Companies House Ireland. CRO homepage. Let's have a look.
Oh, now I'm curious. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's still up. I could probably look into my old signature and find my find the company ID as
Did
well
not
somewhere.
generate any results. Aww.
Disappointing.
Did you
I would have a look,
actually-
but
Did
my
you
sound
actually have to
booth,
sign anything when you were with
course.
Patrick?
Oh.
No.
For your
When I what?
company.
When you were with Patrick, did you have to actually sign anything?
No. It's
No NDAs. It's fine thing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think registering a company at the Company's Office of Ireland is a very non-binding thing. Like I said, I don't think it changes a lot about your legal status. It doesn't come with any fees other than like a £20 registration fee. Sorry, euro. It's Ireland. €20 registration fee or something like that. It's kind of like going to the DMV, I suppose, minus the waiting times. Unrelatable to everyone in here because nobody here lives in the United States in this podcast, but hey,
Neither
at
do
least
you.
no, but I still know about the DMV
Why though?
Fuck, it's too.
because it's in the media a lot.
Nice one, R0TT. Nice one.
There's actually a good South Park episode on it. Don't mind me dying. R0TT, I just realized it might be
bit far into the podcast, but how about you give us like a table of contents for the podcast, so we can kind of adjust our talking a little bit and decide when to
Table
move
of
on.
contents. What do you mean?
Topics, yes.
I already scrolled down, sorry.
What else do we have? We've
Well,
gone over
that's
so
a question
many.
for you since you're running this shit show.
The Plebs, how did everyone meet, and how thoughts over time have changed, or have they changed?
We didn't really get into that, really.
Yeah, no. That's
the
like
future
later.
ones.
Yeah, that's future ones.
Idiot.
Because we just went over like the last one. Well, the topic before was supposed to be remembering Nologam and downfall of it. We technically went over that.
Well,
After the Plebs, it's suggestions nightmare in Discord. Current work in progress stuff featuring DaAlpha, and then describe those players.
oh boy.
And maybe
Do we
Q&A
plan to
after.
do a? Yeah, I was gonna say, do we do a Q&A at the end?
Probably, if it's
Yeah.
not too oof.
Not too oof.
Yes. As in,
How do you
like,
define? I mean,
if it's an actual question. I mean, if it's gonna be like dumb questions.
that's how
then-
every Q&A goes. You pick the questions that actually answerable and ignore the rest.
Yeah, but
I mean, if someone asks for, I don't know, Dennis's boob size, are we gonna answer
what's
that?
the dedicated
You come in and
RAM
find out.
for running a Just Cause 2 server?
Oh, if it answers your question, you come here and find out.
No T Island for me, thank you very much. How about you come over?
One day, sure. I'll drive
Meow.
over when I get my car.
Yeah, come over to Estonia. How about that? Before I
Too far away.
go to the military.
I don't think Dennis is gonna have a car before you go into the military. But like, I want to see Dennis on the roads in the first place. But I can
You
just hide
make you very
inside.
scared, Alf. I'm going to the dealer tomorrow.
I am very scared now. Why are you getting a car before me anyways? You're living in fucking London.
Second travel away
Wait,
from
Alpha,
London.
don't you have a car?
No, I still use my parents' car, which is a bit more
Oh.
inconvenient now because I have to take a tram across half the city to visit my parents and then take the car. But, it costs me nothing, so it's still a good service.
Yeah.
And I can, of course, walk to work in like 15 minutes and get anywhere within like 5 minutes on foot. So I don't really need a car.
The main reason why I'm getting one is for my new workplace because it's by public transport. It's like an hour and a half. Whereas with a car, it's like 20 minutes. So
Makes sense, yeah.
But
Yeah.
London streets, how's that?
at 5:30 in the morning, pretty quiet.
Oh, perfect. You found a job matching your time schedule.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's actually because see, that how I've been a fudge and like had excuses not to go gym. And my workplace
yeah.
is a gym and a swimming pool at it. And people are
Not
going
like
to
it's
the gym
gonna
all the time.
change anything about your habits, but
I mean, I'll try. It might work, it might not. I'll let you know when it doesn't work out.
the great thing about being on this podcast right now? Everything is being recorded, so everyone can hold you accountable for what you're saying here.
Yep.
Fuck.
As opposed to normally where it's just our brains that have to keep track of all the shit you promise and never fulfill.
I mean, I can roll back the recording as well, so... I mean,
No, you
Dennis is
can't.
good as well, so...
Oh yeah, R0TT, are you doing a local recording at the same time?
Oh, no. It's supposed to go to the VOD. If it doesn't go to the VOD, well, fuck. It's gonna-
How do I delete a video from most Twitch? Now?
Um,
I'm kidding.
Try a DCMA takedown.
Oh yeah.
DCMA takedown, sorry. I mean, there's no music, but I don't think anyone's gonna care about that.
There was actually Estonian music at the beginning, so
Oh, here we go.
Come
R0TT.
on.
Why didn't you do a local recording?
Nah, I'm gonna go full legal battle if needed, because fucking fair use, bitch.
So, I'm not leading the podcast, but I'm going to be the voice of reason, bringing us a bit back more on topic. So, since I talked a bit in great length about the history of Saltfac and Nologam and how people and supposedly how opinions changed, how about you guys? What do you have to tell? How was your time in the universe of Just Cause? And I mean, I know how it started, it ended by now, but what about the middle?
Everyone's fucking dumb. Lol. Nah, it's. I mean, it has changed for the better now. Like way back then, it was more respectful, and everyone was like way nicer for sure. When I first joined, I mean, when I first joined, I had
You know, you said
no
it changed for the
fucking-
better, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying it changed for the better, but you're saying before was better. Big thing.
No. Let me fucking finish it then, fuck. So when I joined,
With GTA, what?
Yeah, I just noticed
yeah,
as well.
I
Time to
switched
launch it
over
up.
to GTA.
I changed the game again.
Too bad.
Let's see how I
Um,
can perform with my sound setup on my head.
So when I first joined, I joined of course during Nolagam time. I mean, I've been around longer than Dennis, that's for sure. I had no fucking idea what to do. Because I knew I played it like way before, but I didn't stick. I just played with it randomly. I actually friended a German guy, but
Hi.
I completely forgot about him. And I guess
How
some of the
was he
time got
called?
removed. Hmm?
How was he called?
I actually don't know. I don't remember, and that's what I'm sad about. I kind of wish I would have remembered him, but it was so generic username. That's the problem.
It wasn't Kemper by any chance, right?
No, I don't think so.
Was
Think-
it Dong Kong?
No, don't.
Time to go for a shit ton of names.
No,
Sit
no.
back
it's,
and
uh,
relax.
I mean, shout out that none of you two got the reference about Dong Kong, but okay.
Hong Kong.
I'm
I remember his name,
gonna
but I
put a
don't.
link into the chat.
Ah, no.
With chat.
Yeah, which chat?
Twitch chat.
Oh
Should
no.
chat, okay, oh boy.
Oh no. But yeah, when I joined, no fucking idea what to do. I fucking joined a random faction. Started PvPing like crazy, and then we
The
ended
link
up.
is shit, baby.
We.
Yeah, I just realized. It still works. You just have to copy the entire thing manually.
I like how I keep getting cut off by you two fucking cunts.
La la
Oi,
la
you
la
people
la
keep
la.
cutting me off during my narration, so
I
fuck
had a
you.
reason
Continue.
to.
Oh, and we don't.
No.
Yeah, we do.
I'm just trying to talk about fucking my experience and shit, and you're just like, oh, do you remember Tong Kong? He has Kong in his name. I mean,
Yeah, that's not what I said. But okay, continue.
yeah. I went into battle with assassins. I think you remember them, Alpha.
Yes, I do.
It was
The
one
name
of-
anyways.
I'm pretty sure it was the biggest at the time as well. I know it was biggest PvP faction. But
Didn't they
we-
get deleted by
Yes.
Fox?
No, not Fox. It was Chuff's, I think. We
Ah,
have a
yes,
log
yes,
for
yes,
it,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
somewhere on my website.
It's kind of mysterious that my name wasn't in that. Because I got deleted from it as well.
I love how
it's
Baku
became
just
terrible
pointed
for me.
out a log of you deleting Cold Steel.
Wait, who is that person? Right.
Baku, you're getting
Ban
banned from
user.
Yeah, that was a thing, Dorothy. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well,
I
listen,
plead the
come on,
fifth.
story time.
I plead the fifth. Were times, stupid times, made mistakes, etc., etc.
You were young and you had the money. I see.
Yes, I was young and wild.
And free.
Yes, definitely free.
Are you joinable?
Yes, I am. Friends only session.
Mm.
It's all good.
Get right in there.
I'm currently as Trevor wearing a dress. Like, come on, guys.
Well, you can come online and, well, I guess not wear a dress, but underwear works.
Yeah. Come on. I actually need to get a 4-seater
Trust
fucking car.
Rot, yeah, I was gonna say, trust Rot to get a 2-seater car. You idiot.
I mean, it was the first car that I got from the fucking login. But yeah, I mean, I joined Assassins as I mean, I was PvPing like crazy, and Assassinator. I went against him. We battled like crazy. He died, I died. We battled for hours because, I mean, back then there were rocket launchers and no cooldowns. So it was quite a fucking battle, especially with the slash heal as well, because that was instant. And
Obviously,
fun
good times.
Yeah,
Balanced
fun
combat,
times.
everyone just spams overpowered, unbalanced shit.
Yeah, literally. And yeah, that's when I joined Assassins and started gaining popularity, because I was really aggressive in terms of PvP. Back then I wasn't like angry all the time, 24/7, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, that's when I started gaining popularity. And then at some point you joined the game, well, while I was online. And I started talking to you as well. And slowly I gained your trust as well, I think, something. I don't
Something,
know.
yes, yes.
I actually don't
More or less,
remember
yeah.
when did I add you and etc and all that. But yeah, I mean,
You're a perfect vehicle for this. Let's go.
Oh god, now
do
now
I
I'm
really
scared.
have a lot 4-seater fucking cars? Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, the car is actually pretty horrible to drive, but it's a 4-seater and it kind of works. So, I mean, hey.
Chocula is also 4-seater, right? I mean, it looks like it has.
I don't think so.
It looks like it has like the back
Does it
doors
have
and
4
shit.
doors so much?
Yes, it
The
does.
car's so black tiny, you can see.
Question
Let's
is,
see what I
when-
spawned with.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess that works. So, Dennis, what about you? You've been staying quiet, avoiding conflict, and just.
No, I didn't even
Avoiding
finish, but
talking about
okay.
RAF. I'm just avoiding talking about RAF, so let's just let RT finish.
Oh
you
boy,
mean let's
RAF.
just...
Oh, let's talk about RAF.
Exactly.
Knobhead,
That was
knobhead,
my
knobhead.
first faction, so.
It was my second faction, I think, when we started building it up. And are you getting in? Dennis?
I'll stick to my Rolls Royce.
All right. Nice. But yeah, I mean, RAF. I mean, Marv already created it. Wiz was rank 5, I believe already.
nice
Fuck
one.
you. And I don't know. At some point, I was like rank 4. I was infantry leader, even though it was Royal Air Force.
Imagine not being R5 in RAF. Lol.
I actually was. It kept switching between me and Wiz.
Also, Denny, how much Marv cock did you suck to get there?
Yeah.
None.
Are you
Wait,
sure?
wait,
about that?
did you not
Sucked
join
mine.
when Marv was around, or?
Yeah, I was as R5 for a while with
Thing is, I don't actually remember.
and some other people don't remember.
Yeah, I left around like later times, and then RAF died out, and it got revived by some random people. And yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty
back
sure I
then
left
it was
RAF to go
nice.
south.
It was so nice. The community wasn't as toxic, and then the memers, meme queens, princesses, all that.
Rosa, kick.
Oh boy.
No, to be honest, no. Not Rosa. I mean, that comes way later. But, Anzi, for example. Oh, fuck, especially when I was a moderator. Yeah, it was a nightmare. I shouldn't be banned or muted because I'm a troll. It's justified. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? If you're trolling and breaking the rules, I mean, I have to do something about it, I guess. Especially if they're intentionally fucking breaking the rules, like in front of me, just to get fucking muted, just to trigger me. At one point,
You
that
don't
was
slow
the
down.
thing.
I'm revving a big heap of metal. It is.
Fucking hell, Dennis.
What are you saying, Dennis? Actually, what are you driving? How come you're not keeping up?
Super Diamond.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course you're not keeping up with us.
Super Dennis.
Why aren't you keeping up with a supercar and a good sports car when you're driving this piece of shit?
Well, why are you driving this piece of shit then?
I spawned
Sounds like
with it.
a... Oh, yes, but that sounds like, you know, an error in judgment on your
Better
side.
question, why did you spawn with that?
Can't answer. I haven't played this game in that. I haven't played this game in a while. There you go. English is hard.
Oh no, you grew up pretty much in England. Oh no, Irish hard.
Actually, no. More of my life was spent in Poland and England, actually.
Yeah, but how long have you been living in
Well,
the UK? Compared to me and Alpha.
In my defense,
This is
the
really
level of
bad.
teaching of English in Poland is pretty shit.
My excuse is that
I mean, it's not better in
Estonian
Germany.
had worse. Yeah.
I mean, I literally was taught to pronounce turtle as... How was it? Like, it was really retarded. Yeah, turtle, something like that.
Turtle, kurwa! It's turtle! Fuck!
Actually, that's what it was. It was a really retarded word that they just thought you pronounced wrong.
People
'cause
don't use the straws. Use
Figures, 'cause I
paper
was-
straws for turtles.
Figures, like, in year 1, I was in England. So I knew like a bunch of like the basic shits. When the teacher was teaching it wrong in Poland, actually, like I constantly corrected the teacher and got in trouble.
Oh.
And like, there was like, you can't correct it. I was like, I fucking lived there. I know better than you. Fuck off. It's pretty fun.
Sounds fun.
Quality.
Kept getting in trouble. It was amazing.
Such a troublemaker, such a baddie. That's why all the
I
chicks are coming
know.
to you, Denny, because you're such a big baddie.
Yeah, clearly.
You're a
Where's your
bad
leather
boy.
jacket?
My leather jacket is on my door.
Oh, bitch.
Maybe.
Why do you stop?
Because I'm going to repair.
Why?
Actually, fair
This
point.
car
I'm
will do,
just-
I guess.
I'm just gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get
I'll
more
push it
shit.
in, don't worry.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
God damn it.
I'll get an oppressor. Why the fuck not?
Oh god. Yes, because you can certainly keep up with you when you just start flying over mountains.
Yes.
I mean, I can just do my usual walk trip. I suppose on GTA it's a little less engaging than on Just Cause, eh?
Dennis, where the fuck are you?
I changed cars. Stupid Diamond wasn't cutting it quite.
Well, Rosa
Oh,
does have a point. Once,
Fucking hell.
once again, this is more gameplay and less podcast, so... One thing I was gonna address about the thing you said, Roti, was that you said everyone these days is more toxic. I disagree.
No,
There
no,
was
no,
a
no,
lot
no,
of
no, no, no,
toxicity
no,
back
no,
then
no.
on the
I did not
server.
say that. I said
You said
after
things
that.
got more toxic. The thing is,
Let
I
me
feel the
let me
server-
finish.
okay,
I'll
okay.
actually finish because we went off topic again. It was when I was a moderator. It was so toxic. When I was a moderator, after my second demotion, I think there was like less staff as well, and new staff was coming in, like track and everything, and it was just smoothing out. Especially, I started noticing that Anzi was less active. Sword was definitely getting better because I remember that Sword was pretty toxic, I think. I don't know, some people were really toxic, but they got a lot better. Like, they turned human. But now, to be honest, compared to the
Alpha,
time
please.
I was a moderator,
Sorry.
it's definitely a lot better when I was a moderator. And that's the thing I don't miss about being a mod. I just fucking hated the toxic community, and that's why I got so fed up being a moderator. To the point that I literally didn't care. I was playing Warframe and I had chat open. And when I saw some kind of offense or some kind of complaint, absolutely fuck you both.
Hey, the AI is attacking me now, so
Alfie killed you, not me. It's all his fault.
you bounced onto my hood.
Yeah, pretty much.
How am I supposed to dodge that?
I'll drop you off your bike. Come on.
Nah, it's right here. But yeah, I got so demotivated, especially after my long ass break when I was working away from PC. I got so demotivated. Me and Fish came back at the same time. That's where the Devil May Cry fucking parody came in. absolutely no one cared about it. It was probably the worst out of all the fucking parodies that I've made. And I think to this day it has the least amount of views. So. But yeah.
Seems like you didn't quite hit the target audience.
Of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. Definitely, the community is a lot better. I mean, there was some hiccups.
I think overall, like the
I mean,
toxic people got less toxic, or just stopped being toxic in general.
yes.
And it's just like a bunch of randoms just being randoms, I guess.
On top
Yeah.
of that, what you have is that a lot of the toxic leaders, like Marv and Val, got punished for longer times and more. So eventually they just rage quit because they kept getting punished and they didn't see why they were the ones getting punished over the people they were fighting with.
Mm-hmm.
So once the more toxic leaders disappeared, the people who followed them kind of started normalizing for the most part.
My bad.
I still
And,
remember fucking Marv's meltdown. When
Which one
he
of them?
The final one, when he got permanently banned. Because
Which
I was
time?
part of the reason. The final one. I mean, he's still permanently banned. And I was pretty much the reason why he got permanently banned, because he went off on me. Like, why you keep shutting me down? I'm trying to act nice. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to change. Why are you being a knobhead and always punishing me? And so on and so
Knobhead.
forth. And I was like,
Accurate.
mate, if you break the rules, what can I do? I have to punish you, especially if people are complaining. And yeah, I mean, he had a meltdown, and then I guess I told one of you, and he got permanently banned.
He deserved it though.
Yeah,
He was just
deserved
constantly out of
sure.
line.
He
He had a
so
very
toxic.
twisted view of everyone else.
Yeah.
There's always everyone else in the wrong but him, so yeah.
I mean, we know that story from other people. Fancy.
I mean,
Anyway.
if you were disagreeing with him, you were a knobhead.
Pretty much.
Hey, knobhead is a solid way to label people. I actually miss hearing knob so often.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
even
his
his friends were
catchphrase
snobs.
was literally that. Just knob.
The thing is, and I guess this is as good as time as any to approach this topic. The problem I feel with all these influential people getting banned, or just losing interest over time, was that now we're in a situation where there's just not much going on in the faction landscape at all. It's either you're a random Turkish faction, or you're in Malta, or you're one of Malta's allies, which is essentially the same thing at this point.
District of Malta. Outpost
Yeah.
of Malta. Oh yeah, Maltese outpost. What else
Yeah.
was there?
I know these two. I
There's
mean,
no
Sky
one.
Valkyries is somewhat close to them as well, so.
Waiting
the
for
thing-
Rosa to come up in chat. Not happening yet.
Yeah, I'm also saying Q and tail.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I started fucking I despised looking at Malta, because it just felt so fucking weird, especially when Rosa had the choice of either staying with faction or leaving staff. After the Lateralis versus Malta debate.
Yes.
I mean, I still remember the post she posted where she had to. I mean, she first chose to stay as a staff. I just laughed so fucking hard at the post. It was so emotional. I have to leave Malta.
Oh yeah, that.
I was laughing so fucking.
I mean, that's a Rosa trademark, the overly emotional PSAs.
Yeah. I mean, no
But-
offense, but still, it was just fucking funny to be.
No
thing is
offense,
that-
I'll take offense.
Yeah.
The thing is, I agree with her choice after all, because while she doesn't have the absolute power she would have had as a staff member, she had a power over a lot more people, or like influence over a lot more people, staying the leader of Malta.
She's like
Malta
female
was a
version
bigger
of
thing than
Logan
being
Paul.
staff.
I mean, better than
If
Jake Paul.
she was, I wouldn't have any worries about Just Cause being unpopular and dying out.
True.
True.
But I guess that's pretty much the landscape right now. We're pretty much at a time where it's Malta or random Turkish factions. I mean, one faction that still kind of sticks out is ESS, as they kind of just do their own thing for the most part, but they don't really engage in like
Trauma.
Combat with Malta. They just focus on their racing. So in the end, we still have
just
a
avoid
lot
trauma,
of
very much.
drama.
They avoid trauma.
I mean, that's a smart move, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially the thing is, nowadays it's just Malta. Just shaping the faction landscape. And it's pretty lame, to be honest. Also because there's no... I've come to find that you don't have a lot of Malta people on, unless there's something happening. So you normally have Rosa joining, then people join, there's a trip going on, and then everyone leaves again. That's also not very interesting. Like back in the days, you would have people from each faction, like RAF, like assassins, like SWAT, just constantly kind of battling
SWAT.
or having an eye on what's going on. Yes, SWAT, good old SWAT.
USSR, cough cough.
I was thinking of one 3-letter faction, PDF. Yes, PDF. I miss them.
Oh, fuck me. So much drama between them. There were,
of course,
every time it popped up, instantly a drama.
The thing is, that's the
factions.
Tempest.
Tempest, yes. Was also deleted by Fexy, I think.
Yes.
The thing is, the drama was the landscape, and it was engaging for people. People love drama. I mean, you can see it even nowadays. The thing is, we've done so much moderating at this point that there is no more drama.
Mm-hmm.
So, it kind of got stale.
Pretty much. I mean,
Everyone's good now, imagine.
ASF used to be just fucking Keemstar's
The name.
wet dream.
Salt Factory.
No,
Yeah.
Keemstar's wet dream, fucking trauma that. But yeah, I mean.
Breaking news, local phone got arrested, blah blah blah. Breaking news, Rosa attacked a faction.
Oh no, that never happened. Breaking news,
Yeah.
Malta won another combat by just fully outnumbering the enemies and camping a base for a solid 2 hours in one go. I mean, I get that there's no faction combat system, but like, come on, this is just boring.
Alright, shall we get back to the topic?
Well, we are still kind of on topic.
Yeah, we
At least
kind of are, yeah.
It's just cause
I mean,
and not
Dennis, do you want to
GTA.
comment on your experience?
Yes.
I started, I was pretty much a nobody, didn't really talk much or anything. Then opened up F7, saw RAF being like near the top somewhere. They were pretty active in chat, so I was like, fuck it, why not? Joined them, talking to Marv. He was actually pretty cool back then, like wasn't this kind of retard.
There were
as he
times
is now.
when he actually behaved and
Yes.
like, earned
Yeah,
the respect to
and
God.
that's when I sort of met him at the start, which was kind of cool.
At the start he was nice,
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
power got to him and he started becoming a knobhead.
Yeah, when RAF became top faction, he just became like way too stupid, I guess. Retarded, just
Yeah.
nah. But yeah, back then when it wasn't actually that massive, I sort of climbed ranks, got R5. It's pretty fun, I guess, back then. Then yeah, power got to him being like, oh, we're the biggest faction, yada yada, whatever. And
How big was
Yeah.
RAF back then, anyways? Because there was definitely no faction member
Over
limit.
200.
more, pretty sure we had 300 at some point.
That's what I said, over 200. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure we had like I think the highest rate was 314 at some point.
Possibly.
I thought it was 312.
I think it was 314, but one of those, or in between, who knows? But yeah, that's when like power really got to his head. And he started like trying to like just abuse it and just like fuck with people he didn't like. Like I didn't like want to be a part of that because it's boring. Then I asked Darcy about being staff. Then he stalked me for a bit, see if I was okay for that.
Fuck.
Then I had to. Yeah. Anyways, then I had to leave RAF to be staff. So RAF was pretty much too involved. Then the whole Nolagam leaving thingy took place, and got a hardcore promotion then. And there's history. Game admin, helps Alfie out a bit with like permissions and stuff, and getting new stuff in. A senior admin, something, then just gonna lift some motivation towards everything, and I'm here. Yeah, nothing. So there's a bunch of shit in between, but nothing overly exciting.
Like Ivana.
Oh my god, the trauma between.
Ivana.
Oh,
Like Megan.
I still remember when King was saying, you know, I'm kind of suspecting that Dennis is kind of a creep and shit. Like what she's saying is actually true. I mean,
Guys, real quick.
Like,
Did you also get an invite for Deliver EMP?
No.
I don't think so.
God damn it! I was gonna just raid this guy. Okay.
All right, let's get to the next topic, I guess.
One sec. One thing that just came up in chat, which Anon said. Anon, the 250 member limit on factions wasn't a thing back then. Factions would legitimately grow infinitely. And the reason why I added the limit was because some factions would just grow so large that the distribution of members between factions was terrible. So that's why I wanted to force a bit more distribution. That's how Well, I mean, they created sub-factions then.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, from today's perspective, it's also factions branch out anyways when they want to cover more territory, so it's not really necessary anymore. But yeah. But yeah, let's continue, R0TT.
Right, I guess the Plebs. How did everyone meet? How thoughts over time have changed, or how have they changed? Who do we start with?
You choose. You're the podcast leader.
Who was the first?
You start. There you go.
First friends. I guess. I mean, technically, Dennis and Arthur.
Yeah, technically me and him.
Yeah.
But Arthur's couldn't in the picture. Yeah.
So
Arthur's an in real life friend of mine, and we used to talk a lot on TS.
And
yeah.
for those who don't know who Arthur is, Amazing Arthur, that's his username. He is one of the 2 main ASF TeamSpeak staff. Me being the other one, of course. And the rest are just either just called staff for Polska Kurwa's staff. AKA Dennis's uncle staff. Well,
Yeah.
it's mainly just Dennis's uncle. But yeah. I mean, I guess next up is me and Alpha. Then we just met in Just Cause, and
on a romantic, quiet evening in the moonshine.
yeah. I mean, we talked in TeamSpeak
Says
when others when others were around. That's pretty much when I would like dare to speak, because back then I didn't really like to speak, like talk to anyone in voice. And I guess just when we started to get to know each other more when Dennis was around, because that's, I guess we should just, you two should talk about it now. Also, fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Didn't realize you were going the other way.
Ow.
Well, the way I met Dennis was when I split from Nologam back then. Dennis started reaching out to me.
Before that?
Really?
Yes, because when I transitioned, I got admin.
Really?
Yes.
Actually, double that. Really? Because I don't remember. I don't remember.
Actually, no,
that.
I transitioned as trial. Because I started trial on Nolo, and then pretty soon actually you decided to split. So I carried over as mod.
That actually surprises me, because I thought you
after.
joined way later. Like during
No.
I definitely remember him being around and talking to me while the swap happened, and I'm convinced I made him staff just after that, but I didn't realize that anything happened on Nologam.
I carried over.
Fair enough.
It literally became trial like the next week or not even. You decided to spend. I was like, fuck, what's happening then? I had like the option of deciding who I'm staying with, and I was like, well, fuck it. Alpha's the guy I was talking to the entire time. I was like, I'll just stick with this guy. Yeah.
I kind of
Okay.
felt bad with some people who actually stayed with Battery, namely
Yeah.
Shadow Spy. I'm pretty sure Shadow also stayed with him.
Shadow. Oh yeah,
And-
true, he did.
Yeah. I was
I mean,
kinda,
apparently
I was
nothing
kind of
happened over
upset
there.
over that because I was actually good friends with Shadow, and then suddenly that happened. But
I mean,
I still
Drake's
speak to
Just
him.
Cause and just ceased to exist after the split, so
Yeah.
obviously nothing happened anymore. If he probably just quit Just Cause altogether at that point.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's
I
more of a matter
still
of getting
spoke
bored
to
as
him
well.
time to time. Played Warframe, played Apex, etc.
Nice driving, Alfie.
Thanks.
He reminds me Fish, to be honest. And weird fact is that he is, I think he was one day younger than me. I think his birthday was 26th of May. So that's also a weird fact.
Cute
But-
young people.
He didn't say a year, but okay.
No,
Yeah.
but
It
we all
changed it
know
from
which.
May.
I
Youngster.
mean, yeah, you lot. What the fuck is going on over there?
I saw
Not
that
bad.
as well.
Not bad. I still
What?
see the truck hovering there, like. It's on the wall. It's on the floor now. Nice.
Yeah,
That's gone.
yeah, it's gone.
But yeah, Dennis. So definitely, Dennis started becoming like a bigger, like he really joined staff after we did the Nologam move.
Yes.
So around that time, Dennis messaged me a bunch, and at some point he offered to host a TeamSpeak server. I had the capabilities to do it myself, but I wasn't really bothered. But I thought, I don't mind a TeamSpeak server because we've been sitting on the Nologam TeamSpeak before that, and it was always a good time. So Dennis created it, and we actually just started talking on there, and started like meeting there on a more regular basis, pretty much, from what I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis. It's too many years of history of people around, in and around Just Cause.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And yeah, as we know, Dennis is glorious at making friends. Everyone he
Amazing.
meets just
Oh fuck.
wants to be
Sorry.
friends with him or more. So no, it's all I'm gonna say. So obviously that worked on me as well. And
Meow.
meow, who's gay
Meow
now?
later.
And
Both of us, clearly.
yeah, so he started climbing the ranks, and I started to trust Dennis with more and more like power and strength on
His
the
first
server.
mistake.
Indeed, now I have to undo it all.
I mean, the one of the topic is also saying like how thoughts over time have changed. So
I mean, that pretty much encapsulates it. I really like Dennis for his activity and his trustworthiness, and right now we're actually more friends than anything stuff related, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty much.
yeah, that's
But we're also not on a regular schedule anymore. We just exist and
That's
message each other
also
when we
what-
bother.
that's what I was afraid of when I was staff as well, because I started to notice that all like my friendship with you two started to suffer quite a bit. So
please.
that's one of the reasons I think I brought it out to you, Alpha, when I got demoted, when I told you that I would have left anyway within 2 weeks probably.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because I just noticed that our friendship was just fucking suffering because I mean technically you were my boss and you had to take action as well when I was just being a rot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just I was getting fed up with that as well. And yeah, I mean, I guess now it's just me and Dennis. Me and Dennis met in TeamSpeak, so started talking. Alpha introduced me to him, and after that we
Did I
started
really?
playing. Yeah,
I forgot all of this shit. Jesus.
yeah. I asked about becoming staff, and you said, "Oh, talk to Dennis." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Dennis?"
You said this
And that's
before,
pretty
but
much-
yes.
Yeah, that's literally what I said before as well.
Yeah.
But I thought talking in terms of like going on TeamSpeak.
Oh yeah, it was in TeamSpeak because it was more comfortable. It's easy and shit. But yeah, I mean, we started playing games. Called him a dickhead in the first day. It's always the most memorable moment. The first fuck you.
Pretty much.
I mean, I suppose nobody kept track, but I'm pretty sure we've hit a couple hundred dickheads by now.
Hundreds?
first
Are
one
you
was a
kidding
point
me?
one.
Billions. So, that's
It's like on a daily at this point, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it's just daily.
Dennis is such a dickhead.
Yeah, like, just casual. Yeah, okay.
I especially love it when we're with Dennis's friends Kinga and all, and me and Dennis get into an argument. We literally just cuss at each other. We just go ham. They're like, what the fuck is going on? Is this like an actual fight or what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's like, we just do this all the time. It's fine, guys.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
It's pretty fucking casual. But yeah, then after Dennis I met Arthur for CSGO games, and I was first scared of Arthur. I mean, I don't really judge people for thinking the same way when you hear his accent, because his accent... he has a proper Polish accent. And yeah, I mean,
It was actually surprising because he's lived in England longer than I have.
yeah, that's also, I was like, what the fuck, how is this possible?
You can leave the kurva, but the kurva won't leave you.
Yeah.
Very accurate. Also, Rip Fishu.
Aw.
Aww.
Not literally, by the way.
I was looking at the chat. I was looking at the fucking chat.
You just fully stepped on the brakes as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't look at the chat for a moment.
You killed the lady there.
When what does it get you as a friend? I mean, Fish, of course. I mean, I have plenty of friends. I mean, I guess I can consider Vic as a friend as well. Even though we haven't spoken in a while, but still, like, I still remember when I was chatting with him for hours, maybe. I played Warframe with him and so on. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of people, especially the people that I've kept in Discord friends and Steam friends. Those usually, I mean, I usually remove strangers, like people I don't speak to at all or don't care about. So yeah. Anyway, back to Plebs. When did you meet Arthur, Alpha?
That's a very good question. I wish I could answer.
Probably
Because I have no idea as well.
I think Dennis was just, it was a casual thing between me and Dennis for me to just hop on and talk to Dennis on TeamSpeak every day, and Arthur just eventually was there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, shame
normally,
for
like
me.
the first couple of times when I would join, he would just leave within a couple of minutes of me joining. But
think it
when
was
we
same
started
for
playing
me.
GTA, he actually stuck around and we started to get to know each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
When I started to get along
about right.
with Arthur, especially when we actually had like a heart-to-heart talk about like mental health and all that. That's when I was like, fucking hell, he's actually a really nice fucking guy. And yeah. Because before I had pretty much no idea, because it's kind of hard to get him to open up to you, in my opinion. I don't know if you can say the same, Dennis.
I mean, I don't find out of anyone, but hey.
I was gonna say, Dennis is just runs at everyone with open arms, like, "Hi, I'm Dennis.
No,
Who
I
are
mean-
you?
I
Do you want to
mean-
be friends?"
I meant Arthur.
I
Arthur
actually
being
did that as
open.
a kid, by the way.
Oh, fucking
When I was
God.
like, what? It was like around 8 and up. I actually did that with people. Like, I saw anyone I kind of like
You're one of-
remotely
you're
liked. I was
one
like,
of
hey, want
those-
to be friends with me?
You're one of those kids who fucking got laid in kindergarten, I swear. Every fucking kindergarten has them. Just the popular guy who just goes behind the bush to get a kiss or something from a girl.
Happy.
Sorry, it's all over.
I mean,
Yeah, of
I
course.
think I never went behind the bush, but
You just did it in front of everyone else.
yeah.
I mean, Alpha also got a lot of kisses, obviously, with that long hair. That picture was so glorious.
Excuse me, do I hear jealousy of my glorious, luscious, long
Oh,
locks?
I think Dennis can tell that I am definitely not jealous with my long hair. If you remember the picture.
I do.
But yeah, I mean, the name Plebs, came kinda unofficially from me when I made the GTA crew.
Where did you
And
take inspiration from for that then? Like, your name must have come from somewhere.
pleb every single
Yeah,
day.
pretty much. Yeah, you kept calling us. You're such a pleb.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could have called it dickheads then.
That's just me
True,
specifically
but yeah.
Plebs is like a general term for all of us. Dickhead is me.
Yes.
Okay, I can concur with that.
Yes.
Oop.
I mean, Dennis, you're kind of the whole dick, not just a dickhead, but good
The
enough.
whole day. Dennis, you just got promoted.
Yay! Fucking all this time waiting. There we go. Took a
Uh,
while.
but yeah, how did the entire GTA thing start? That's my question.
I think you know,
Hmm.
I had the art had it on PS4, right? And I played the Vernon's house because it's on the PS4.
I
was like,
think
I kind of like
I
this game.
asked.
Yeah, I originally played with him because I got it on Steam. I was like, let's
Oh.
play it. And we played a bunch. Then either you or Alpha first, right? I can't remember. Or both of you at the same time.
I'm
maybe.
pretty sure it was me because back then I had someone else's account, so I was like level 100 already, while you lots were like level 5 and shit.
No.
And we were doing heists. Yeah, I was higher level because I was playing on. What the fuck happened there?
Failure
I was
to drive.
on one of my friend's account, and then eventually I got the game for myself. And yeah, that's my current
Oh
account.
yeah,
then.
true. You were this random account for a while.
Yeah,
I remember.
because it was like I took the level, so it was like I think it was literally 120 because I started a new character and took the levels.
Trying to remember how I actually got to join the GTA efforts.
Pretty sure just convinced you to get the game at some point.
I
and you
think
actually
so
liked
as well.
it.
Well, yeah, you guys yelled at me, but I was looking to buy it anyways, but I only wanted to buy it for 50% or less because I don't want to
Oh,
spend ridiculous amounts of
yes.
money on games.
You always wanted to fucking get the percentage, like the fucking 50% off, 75% off. Fucking, you're this kind of whore.
I'm surprised it
You
didn't
still
actually
are.
buy it for you. Maybe it did.
No, I bought it on sale at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. I bought you different stuff then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Pleb started.
Wait, no,
I just named it.
wait.
What? Oh.
I had the game ages before we started playing GTA together.
You never downloaded it because it's so big or something. I'm pretty sure.
No, mate, that's not my problem. No, the thing is,
With your net, it is. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually the thing. I had the game ages ago. I played through it, and I played the entire single player. I started playing multiplayer a bit, but multiplayer was super lame because back then I didn't have anyone to play it with, and solo is just, of course, retarded. So I just put the game aside and then didn't play it anymore. And then I think at some point you just started playing it again then with Arta, and I was like, may as well join. I still have the game.
Hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure I wasn't much lower level than you guys when I joined. You were like in the 20s and I was at 15 or so.
Yeah. I didn't get my wings
What
out in
happened now,
time.
huh?
My wings weren't out.
He went to Dennis.
Yes, indeed.
Actually, no rivers nearby.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have done
Bye-bye.
a rotate, then I would have hit the post, but...
Or
Yeah.
Viggy.
I'm still surprised it's high
Oh,
level
poor
than me.
Vic.
No life.
I mean, Arta did more of the like crate
Yeah.
grinding and stuff. You did some
Oh
of it,
yeah,
it
the
didn't bother
fucking
anymore.
VIP work, that was just... Oh.
But
I mean,
yeah,
I still remember all the fucking missions from it.
One day, just stop slowing down randomly for me, please.
Don't stay behind me then.
It's kind of hard when you're weaving through traffic. That's the only path you can take.
Sure, I'll stick with the tightest road then. That's what she said.
so guys,
What?
before our entire viewer base drops out because nobody cares about how we actually met each other,
Yep.
I guess we can conclude the topic with, you know, what we just said. You know, like if you miss anything, just watch the VOD, watch the last 20 minutes. Otherwise, we shall continue with the next topic.
Yep. I mean, I don't think there's any point in talking about the suggestions. I mean, well, actually,
I mean, you
let's,
put it on
let's
the list.
touch on it a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, I was thinking, like, what should I ask you with that kind of with the topic? What are your favorite suggestions and that you implemented
Favorite
from
suggestion.
there? Yeah.
I have a certain neck for just tiny things, like adding an alias for a command, or like blocking stun jump when you're in block vehicle exit. Just things that are stupidly simple, but that actually add like well-used functionality.
Slash
Basically,
jog.
I mean, that was actually just me coming up with it. That nobody actually came up with that.
What about laser
Yeah, I know,
sights?
it's-
Who came up
Say
with
again?
that? Laser sights.
Very good question. It was requested multiple times during Nologam times.
Yeah, I
And-
remember it was Nologam.
And I was like, no, that's not possible. Something that was like, oh wait, that's actually pretty simple. Boom. And figured, oh, it's good enough. I mean, this was during a time where I would just implement shit and pile it on top and not really think about how it fits the entire meta. And I thought it a bunch. Like since then, I decided it still makes sense to keep it because it, it actually allows you to see when someone is aiming at you, even across the crazy distances that JC2 just has. But yeah, to get back to the suggestions, yeah, just in general, like smaller things that have a big impact. There are these kinds of things. It's normally pretty hard for people to tell whether it's going to be a hard thing for me to implement or not. So I can't really give any advice to the people out there who are actually making suggestions. But those from my side are the things that I like most. All these bigger, gigantic ideas, like add racing, add derby modes, add...
Factions 2.0.
Nobody's asking for that. I'm the only one who
Disappointing.
says it on his list, and I think Rosa still is hyped for it, because I talked to her about it like 3 years ago already. All these big ideas, there's something that's just too groundbreaking, and I just always have to tell people, this is too much of a change. The server was never designed to work like that. I have to go through insane amounts of reworking, and yeah, I always just have to shut it down. And then of course you have like the middle ground, which is normally the things I turn down when I first hear them, but maybe I think about them, reconsider them, or I tell people right away I'm gonna think about it. It's unlikely, but maybe, and then just play around. I managed to implement it in like an hour, and then I'm like, okay, this is actually worthwhile. Like the vehicle jumping, I didn't really want it, but it was pretty simple to implement. It was pretty straightforward. I coded and I was like, okay, this is somewhat fun to use. I suppose this has a place on the server. Like those are the suggestions I can still tolerate, I suppose. I mean, this sounds super arrogant right now, but I'm the smug after all.
That's you. It's just what's a nightmare to make.
I love it. I love it. By the way, you don't have the fancy images of everyone on the stream, like my smug face and Denny's poop machine face, and
I don't. No, I didn't set it up. Actually, good point. I was supposed to. Hmm?
Nothing.
So what?
But yeah, I suppose this answers your question regarding the suggestions, right? Like this gives people an idea of what I like about
What
suggestions, what I
pleases
don't.
the alpha? What pleases the alpha?
I mean, that's pretty simple to answer.
That's not.
Let's not.
Shall we go to the next topic?
Absolutely,
Sure.
since
It is
technical
technically the last one that is written down, of
oh
course.
boy, yeah, I know which one this is.
The questions as well. After that, I guess we should also announce, maybe in Discord, that people can ask questions.
A bunch of people dropped out, and
Yeah,
I suppose
you
if someone had
can-
questions,
One of you can maybe put up
Dennis,
heads up.
because
Put a heads
I
up
don't see
that
anything.
one more topic and then just questions.
Alright, so Q&A in X amount of time, got it.
Yep.
Q&A
pretty
on
much.
stream happening soon. Think of questions
very
or
soon.
don't.
But yeah, describe those players. I got some small list of names. that
I am
you-
expecting a few certain people. I'm not sure if I'm mentally
Oh,
prepared.
fuck.
Oh god, the rods!
Jesus Christ. You lot definitely have heard of them, so let's start with Oog.
Hang on. First of all,
Yeah.
what are the rules for this? For this describe someone? Like
Oh,
what do you expect?
Go whatever. Say what you think of them and so on.
Okay, so just mostly explaining our opinion on these people.
Yes.
Roger. All right, continue.
So the first person is Oog.
Oogie.
Barely remember him at this point, but hey.
Of course, it's going to be a flame-based
was-
session, Rose. If you can't take it, feel free to stop watching. Thank you.
He was so fucking obnoxious, especially around TeamSpeak. I was like, literally begging Dennis, fuck him off. He's a piece of shit. But Dennis was like, fuck you. I enjoy your suffering. Absolutely, fuck you. Okay.
I neither confirm nor deny his accusations, you know?
I was so pissed to the point that I was tempted to just completely block you from everywhere and never speak to you. Because I was so fucking
Been
fed up
there,
with
done
it.
that.
Alexis just reminded
No,
me
it
of
was
something.
actually like...
We did put Oogie on trial at some point.
Yes!
Oh well, I
Yeah, we
did.
did.
Yes!
Oh,
He
quality.
was on trial and I was like, maybe? Just maybe? But also no? And I'm pretty sure that was a disaster, I think. I think it was after my time, so don't really remember.
I don't know if it was a disaster or such. I don't think I just think it didn't work out. It
It
wasn't
didn't
like
work
horrible or
out, that's
anything.
for sure.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it went. So, Dennis,
yeah.
state your opinions. Or R0TT,
Thank you.
if you're finished.
I already did.
And Oogie with me was kind of
for
a lot more
fuck's
chill. Anyways, Oogie was a lot more chilled out with me, to be honest, and he kind of like was, I guess, nicer. Hi, Stitch. He's a lot nicer with me, and like didn't try and flame bait me like he did at RC. But he was kind of alright as a human being. In JC, he was pretty bad, like with everyone else, and just trying to get everyone in trouble and stuff. But no, he's actually alright as a person to me. Just trying to manipulate so many people in JC itself. So.
I'm switching vehicles, by the way, that's why I'm going ahead. Don't mind me. I have to second what Dennis said. Oogie is a troublemaker, no doubt. He manipulates people, he knows how to manipulate people, and you're never really too sure about his agenda or his take on things. Like he does have this slightly twisted sense of what's going on around him in game, but at the same time he is a fairly solid person, just as a normal person to speak to, not as a person to have to moderate. I've had some quality conversations with him. I mean, I was the one who mostly pushed for him to go on trial back then,
Oh yeah,
because I actually
still
wanted
remember.
to give this a try.
I remember I asked you why. I want to see what happens, but he can blow up your server. So I mean, you never know. I was like, why? This is the first time I actually genuinely questioned your judgment.
Yeah, I think you're the most. Actually, I think Wash was also very on the edge. Was he a thing back then? Still?
Yes. That was literally after I got demoted.
Ah,
he was around still.
quality times.
Fuck you.
But yeah, no, that's my take on Ook. I kind of miss him, kinda. Like he's one of these people who keep you on the edge, as a moderator, as a server owner. Not always to the best results, but you know, it's better than nothing.
Time to start some people with horrible cars. Let's go.
Glorious.
Anyway,
Right.
also,
Next
no, I wanted to quickly end another thing with the descriptions. So,
Yes,
describe him in one word.
One word.
Yes.
That's gonna be a hard one.
Yep. With everyone, try to describe with one word first before you start describing in detail. For me, it's pretty easy. It's just like trouble.
Nah, manipulative. He's alright sometimes, and other times just wants to get something out of someone, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be uncreative and second Dennis again. Manipulative.
Oh, you can't just copy me.
Yeah, you can, you can, you can. That's fair.
Oh, bullshit.
Alright, next person.
Scheming, actually, yeah. Rosa, thank you. Like he was always scheming something and rallying people. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Next person. Marvento. Nob.
Marv, yeah, I expected him.
Nob.
Go ahead. Nope.
Nob.
You're doing a skip?
One word. Describe him in one word. Nob.
Okay. Then what's the long version?
Ah, fucking.
Knobhead.
He was. No.
It's a long version, technically.
It is. Yeah, I mean, he was okay at first, but over time, just like Dennis said, just the growth of RIF got to him, and it's just like, he got just unbearable, absolutely unbearable. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I got to say about him.
All right, Denny.
Yeah, I'd just say power
Fuck.
hungry. No. That's nothing. Like I said, yeah, he was alright at the start as a person. Like, he used to talk a lot just about normal things, and he was pretty chill. And once he got the biggest faction in the game, it was just all like, yeah, going crazy.
Huh.
Yeah.
From my side, I suppose trouble would be the word I would associate with this one. I had some decent conversations with him. I know he can be a normal person, but especially at some point, he's just kind of gone insane. And normally, whenever anything involved Marv, it was him just stirring up some form of bullshit against someone else. Or even if it wasn't like complete bullshit, even if he had a point, he would have usually just escalated to the point where it would become a moderating situation. And that's obviously, but once again, from a moderators and server owner's perspective, this is not something you want. But yeah. And quick statement regarding the chat, since Rosa just asked, why can't we talk more about the history of ASF? Well,
sorry for not mentioning Malta, but it's not that important. I mean, what?
I mentioned Malta extensively, but like Malta's a fairly new invention.
Yeah, it's
like
fairly new.
2017 is fairly recent ASF history, and it hasn't played that big of a role when there were still competing factions. It was just one of them.
It's literally like 2019, 2020. That's when Malta, in my opinion, was like the poppin', the fucking Rome of times.
But like to move away from Malta again, just in general, of course there's a lot of details to talk about, but how would you present this? This would be more of an essay if you wanted to describe the history of ASF, especially in my head by now.
Coming up shortly, so yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly. You can ask all the questions you like to ask, but yeah, it's like we're not really iterating over the entire history because it's just all messy and garbly after 6 years. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything in detail without just pulling up a bunch of logs and things.
Well, let's go back to the topic then.
Agreed.
He described Marv, so everyone described him, right?
Yes. Continue.
Next up is Rosa.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Ego. Okay. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hot-headed. That's
Elaborate.
my one word. I mean, especially when Rosa got demoted. I don't know why, but she was the only one I was like legitimately said like, thanks for being a smod, that it actually fucking helped. I did it only one time to one person only, and the response was just so heartwarming. It was probably the best response ever. Fuck you for laughing over me. It was like, I'm like saying heartwarmingly, oh, like thank you for being a mod, fucking simping. Literally new word for it as well. Fucking simped over her pretty much for the first time. And she was like, oh, fuck you for laughing over me. And I was like, Okay, I'm not
I
fucking
remember
laughing
laughing
over
about
you,
it
but
this
okay,
one.
fuck you then.
No, we're talking in TeamSpeak. I actually said I genuinely just started laughing at her reaction. Because your reaction Teaser was like, I actually meant that. She just laughing my ass off.
Yeah, it was glorious. But yeah, I mean, of course I've gotten into a lot of fights with her, and most times, especially the most latest ones, I've been just memeing so fucking hard, and it just every time I just laugh so hard because she got so angry. But yeah, I mean, I guess she got a little bit better with temper, but other than that, she's pretty hot-headed. Reminds me of Fox, to be honest. But
Oof, you went there. You went there. I mean,
No,
I
Fox
suppose
is
Rosa was
worse.
expecting exactly this from you as well.
but yeah, other than that, I mean, I see that she has like, she keeps the community intact most times as well. I can see that she could be a pretty good community leader, but sometimes the wrong ways. But I don't have anything against her fully. Only thing that I have against her is the trusted, but again, it's not 100% confirmed. It just feels like she's using trust tag for her own gain, but of course I cannot prove that. I cannot disprove that. Yeah.
We don't need to go into that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
here,
we
though.
don't
Agreed.
need to talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it's pretty decent, but sometimes gets very angry, and I laugh over that. Humorous.
Denny!
Yeah, like I said, temperamental. Sometimes you can be really chill, Rosie, and then sometimes you're just
The current chat.
like Karen, I guess.
I mean, like the
No, Karen is a good one.
Yeah, Karen sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I love how you're addressing her directly, by the way.
Well, she kind of is kind of being active. I mean, I in the as well. Yeah. Well, yeah,
I mean, current point. I mean, Rose's. Look at Rose's messages. That's all I will say for now. I mean,
because you're kind of like baiting her into that, so I can't really say anything about that.
yeah,
yes.
but I didn't actually want 100%.
Also, hey, Sexy.
I wanted to be like actually, honest about it, and not fucking lie about how I felt about her and shit. Yeah.
Dennis, was there anything more to your explanation?
I think kind of like with Marv, but on a much smaller level. Like when she got the biggest faction, kind of got to her, I guess.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's also what I would want to point out. That she definitely was way better when she was in a smaller faction. And
I guess like you're more approachable, I guess, when you're in a small faction, not like this Queen of Malta bullshit, you know.
yeah.
It's just kind of nice to talk to you, I guess, back then.
Yeah, back
But,
then I
yeah.
actually didn't mind when the all Malta, join Malta, hope for Malta and stuff. All that stuff happened. I was like, that's gonna ruin a person. But people think of a other way. I'm not into the community anymore, so I have no full knowledge anymore.
That's reasonable.
Alfie.
Okay, I suppose it's my turn, yeah. I'm kind of split between two different words. I'm just gonna name them both. So one is tryhard, the other one is boring.
Ooh.
And here's my explanation. So Rosa and me actually did get along pretty well back in 2017 when the entire split happened. I really liked Rosa. Also,
that's
like as a
actu-
core player on my server. Yes, Lottie?
That's actually where I actually got introduced to her through you, and that's when I was like, oh, she's actually really fucking decent. So yeah.
No, it's but over the time it's kind of changed. I suppose this goes along with what you guys said about just Malta becoming such a big deal. We used to have these heart-to-heart conversations, and it was actually like interesting. But these days, it's like I don't really feel like it's the same anymore. It's more of a, how to describe this? Rosa's kind of just on her like throne of being the head of the biggest server driving Just Cause 2 currently, and she's just used to the attention of all these people of the big like Just Cause people, of like faction leaders and all that, and it's just not the same. Just, like it's not like talking to a core player anymore. It's like talking to maybe another server owner. To elaborate a bit more on the, I mean, I guess I don't really have to go into detail on the tryhard part. We all know whatever Rosa does these days is just tryharding everything. I'm not saying she's bad at it. No, quite the opposite. She's good at everything. But when you tryhard everything, you're not really as chill anymore. Like, I guess this is the point I'm trying to make. Like whenever Rosa joins the server these days, she joins to like tryhard something, like tryhard some I don't know, road trip or air trip.
Right.
She doesn't join to chill anymore, and this is kind of what I'm expecting from people, or what I'm looking for in people, like someone to join the server to hang out with, not to just try hard and then go on another game and try hard there and then try at another game and just try harding everything. It's just it gets exhausting to deal with people like that. The boring part kind of goes along with that. Like it's the tryharding is boring after some time, but also we I'm not sure if it's just me but on a humor kind of side, or just like a general conversation side, everything is just
Dry.
most of the things she says these days is just not interesting to me anymore. More, it's like a lot of it. I mean, this is a throwback to the Fox situation. A lot of it is just these cheap roasts at the expense of someone else, and they're just being repeated, and LOL and LMFAO, and it's boring. But yeah, I guess before the rabbit hole grows deeper, this is where I'll conclude it.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with your viewpoint. I mean, she was more approachable when she wasn't, you know, the big faction owner. But yeah, all right. So shall we move to another person or anything?
Absolutely.
Good? Everyone's favorite toy, or so to say, Fox.
Expected.
Alpha first.
No, thank you.
Alpha's first.
No,
Outvoted.
I still have to make up my
Personal
mind.
actions.
Fuck. Yeah. What's the first word? Oh, I want to say the S word, but I don't.
I don't know what you mean by that word. I would just say edgy.
S
The only thing I
L.
think of.
Schl.
Is there a U in there?
Kinda, but A.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So no, I mean, if I'm honest, then fucking untrustworthy. There's so many times when I thought like, okay, she's actually a good friend, you know, you can trust her. But she betrayed it so many countless times. That's why I've been such a dickhead towards her. Because the worst thing you can do is just gain my trust and just absolutely throw it away multiple times, especially. Because if I'm being honest here, when I give trust to someone, like an actual trust, of course I'm very forgiving. If you betray my trust, I can forgive you once, twice, 3 times, whatever. But if you betray it so many times without a proper reason, etc., etc., I have no interest in you anymore, and to me you're a massive dickhead. So yeah, I'll just leave it there.
Alright.
Dennis, your turn.
Now to say edgy. Like a lot of times she can be right to talk to, and like she will just have normal conversations with you. And sometimes she'll just try and use that to her advantage and like manipulate you with it later, or just bring it up in situations like off context a lot of the time.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Also called the Rotti maneuver.
Excuse me, what?
Anyways, in games she was like other one that was very toxic and shit. I kind of think that didn't help her in real life. Like, just she kind of like let it get to her. Like overall, she's being very toxic to everyone, and just sort of spiraled out of control, I guess. So like, she could be okay at the start, and like once things got worse, just didn't enjoy talking to her or anything anymore. I guess now since her break with JC, she's kind of going a bit better. But yeah.
Wait, did you talk to her since, or
Yeah, I
is that
was
a guess?
actually about to say, have you talked to her as of late?
Yeah, just a few conversations. Yeah, I was gonna ask. I asked about Tarkov and kind of for that because I was gonna get back into that game. Turns out she's playing Dota 2 right now, a lot more.
What
And
the fuck?
60,
yeah, I know,
what
right?
have you done?
6, Jesus.
But,
So when are you two getting married? Where's the invite?
also now,
Oh yes! Imagine us three showing up.
fuck.
Oh,
Oh
quality.
fuck that job.
Yeah.
Also, small side note, I completely forgot the radio was on until I noticed that it started playing very copyrighted music, and I was like, what the
DMCA.
No, can I copyright strike it?
fuck? Alright, well, back to whoever's turn. I think, Dennis, are you done with yours, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Alpha?
Minus, I'm still waiting for 60 to say when the wedding's happening, but hey.
Oh yes. We'll talk about it in Q&A. Okay.
Yes, yes. We're asking the questions then.
Yes.
Um,
Alpha.
okay, me. The word is difficult. Since edgy is already overused anyways, that's for her. She's just difficult to try to be friends with. It's like you guys already said, especially Dennis. It's you can have a decent time with her, but she's just so easy to change her mind on everything, literally. And she can go from, you know, having a nice convo to just losing her shit and rage quitting everything, and just like this. And that's just not very great. It's I mean, I guess it goes without saying, but this is not really what you're looking for in another person.
Sorry.
Excuse me, what?
I made him
Fucking, I headbutted the fucking rock because of him.
Yikes. But yeah, I guess in terms of the rest, I'm just piling up on what you guys said. We all kind of had the same experiences with her, for the most part.
X, it's okay.
Hey Dennis, I'm not gonna go into detail,
If we're gonna
and neither should
continue...
you,
Yeah,
because I know. But yeah.
You know,
Rabbit hole. Big rabbit hole. Avoid.
Let's move on.
yeah, let's just
Before
move
we
on.
talk
Everybody
too
gets
much.
Yep, yep, okay, let's go.
So, I just noticed the time. It's been 2 hours. We've been podcasting 2 hours, by the way.
I mean, that's fine.
Going well.
24-hour podcast. Let's go.
It takes a while for a podcast to be lubricated, so
Yeah, true.
it's fine.
Never use that word again in this context, thank you.
I'm gonna
mean,
lubricate you, Dennis.
We're
if you
describing
don't shut up.
quite long, actually. The certain people we've gone through 4, and we have like 8 left.
Oh my god, okay, you went out there. Okay,
Yeah.
then,
Alright, next up is
Go, go, go.
Sword. Sword.
I haven't really spoken to outside of JC, well, him just memeing the shit out of JC, so I don't really know that much about him.
who?
Sword.
Thought, oh.
No, it's
To
just,
be
I know
honest,
him
he's
from
actually
JC as,
kinda...
like, the
He's
meme
actually
lord.
okay. He's actually
Um,
okay if you speak to him.
Go in
Sp-
order, go in order, go in order. Just do the thing,
Alright.
just do it quicker.
Yeah.
Rotti.
He's okay. He's especially if you talk to him, he's actually okay. He's definitely changed over time, because I remember also him memeing a lot. But he's actually okay, and holy fuck, his voice is deep, and he's younger than me, and what the fuck, jeans.
What
Right,
is something
Dennis.
jealous?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Relatable.
if I'm actually aroused by his voice, I mean that just says something, okay?
TMI. Anyhow, I remember him memeing a lot, and then kind of like he got better over time, I guess, with like some people that were influential kind of disappearing. Cough, 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 band. But not gonna point anything fingers, folk. Anyhow, I think he's an alright guy. Sort of like, normal person I'll talk to and just get to know, and yeah. Nothing special, I guess.
Oh,
No
Alpha.
offense.
Okay. +1. My word would be okay, I suppose. I haven't heard a lot from him in a while, I believe. So more of a
He
guesswork
kind of started
again on
up
my
a
end.
Minecraft server, so oh bitch.
Oh yeah, true. It was him. Was it him? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I wasn't involved in that thing at all, so I have no idea. I think he's a decent guy. I have some memories of him putting like trolley shit, like just doing things that I'm not very in favor of. But overall, he's not someone who I would say is a bad person. That's it.
Alright, I'll probably skip a few people, so...
I mean, we're doing well on the pace now. Just don't go into too many rabbit holes.
So... I think this is the favorite person for all three of us. Four of us, if... No.
Wasn't that Fox?
No. Even better.
Is it Jazz?
And even Artie
Definitely not
likes
Jazz.
him. No.
That's
Bandit.
his favorite then. Bandit.
My one word is fucking boomer. Literally just boomer. Fuck
Oh, so it is
all the
Bandit.
time. Hmm?
So it is Bandit.
It is Bandit. Bandit, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Beamer pretty much sums it up. Just cool
Just-
guy, just
Grumpy fucking gets on, starts some fucking beef, talks to me about certain fucking things that stuff has, etc, and just
he's just very open and doesn't give a filter much. Just talks what he thinks a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. Also, story of what? Hi.
say what?
Hi.
Hi.
Alright,
Yeah.
next up is Eric. Eric
Uh,
Beans.
I thought we were going to everyone. Or...
I think we all kind of agreed there, though.
Okay. Yeah. No. I
mean,
I agree.
We
I was thinking
kind of
about
went
anything
through,
to.
yeah. I mean, Bandit, yeah, nothing much to say. He didn't
Actually,
stick around a lot.
One thing to add from my end, the problem is, and that's something you tend to have with just older people, they are people of like strong opinions, and it can be hard to convince them of otherwise. They tend to have one view that is fairly set in stone.
And
even
I
if it's
suffered the
inaccurate.
most from him, because I was on TeamSpeak 24/7. I was the most active person in TeamSpeak. He came to TeamSpeak to
Oh
talk
yeah, he went
about
on
it.
TeamSpeak a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that was cringe. That much I remember. I always started cringing or bailing whenever he went on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking. Whenever he came on, and me and Dennis were in an open chat, like usually in Artist channel. Artist channel is not locked usually. We literally switched to CS:GO channel, which was locked. Or staff. Staff was also an option because no one sees staff other than staff. But yeah, another person. Next person is Eric Beans.
Eric.
For me, it's annoying. I mean, yeah, he's a decent guy, but I mean, at first he seemed okay and shit, but it felt like he was trying to befriend me too much or something. That's how I felt, and it started to really annoy me to the point that I just fucking didn't want to just see him or talk to him or anything. I know he's a decent guy. I've, seen him moderate and everything. I see how he treats like other people treat him and how he treats other people. And he definitely was a good moderator, I'd say. But yeah, he's just towards me really annoying intentionally.
I love
But-
how,
Maybe
for the
it's
most part, you're
intentionally
just
annoying.
antagonizing everyone, and you don't actually have to care about it.
I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, mostly positive. Just my experience been less positive.
From my side, I'd say yeah, he's done good work as a moderator. Like he does know his way around people, but he can be difficult at times. Also, back to the topic of opinions of some people who are just hard to argue with. He is someone who kept me on the edge. The thing is, he did lose some respect I had for him when he just pulled this shit on Discord the other day, where he just quit over my fucking name tag. It's like, what the fuck? Who even does that? Especially someone of his age. But
One thing
yeah.
what surprised me was, I don't know if it's true, if it's the actual reason, but as far as I heard, he quit because he wanted to give chance to other moderators. Is that actually
yes,
true?
that is
Holy
true.
fuck, that when I heard that I was like, why the fuck? I mean, at the time there wasn't many moderators. I was like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, that move is a bit weird, but you know, if someone makes such a move, okay. Like,
I think
just-
he was just
okay.
looking for an excuse to leave, if anything, more than actually that being his
Yeah.
reason.
But didn't he leave in favor of Draki becoming a mod instead?
Drac was a mod.
Yeah, so what the fuck are you on about?
Like I said, it's been fucking over half a decade of just cause.
He wanted someone to become a mod, I can't remember who, and we just said no.
Green maybe, Green.
Wasn't Green a mod?
Possibly?
I'm pretty sure Green already was a mod as well.
Well, it
It was
can only be
someone.
one of the current team.
Wasn't Green mod before Drac?
Draki's just in chat like, DaAlpha, please.
Draki shush. Yeah, it was Green. Yeah, he confirmed it.
Ah,
Oh, I should have said Suslan. Showing off my crazy Turkish skills. But yeah, I guess that concludes Eric. Or does anyone want to add anything?
Dennis
Nah,
got
pretty much
completely
nice.
skipped.
He's just very opinionated and like it's very hard to argue or like kind of show a different point of view to him. But overall, pretty cool guy. Had some decent convos with him just about in real life stuff. Pretty level-headed, I guess. And
I actually did as well, yeah. When he wasn't actually acting up, and what surprised me the most was the gift cards both me and Dennis received.
pretty sure a
out
bunch of
nowhere.
stuff got them.
Yeah, a bunch
yes.
of people.
Yes.
So he's definitely really good guy in terms of money.
Well,
Funny.
The
way that sounds amazing. He's a
Hey.
cool guy. He gives me money.
No.
I was gonna
Just
say, this comment is sponsored by Eric.
yeah, it came out wrong. Like he's
Thanks,
really
that's
generous,
Eric.
and he rather gives money away than keeps it. By the looks of it.
This
And it's
video
kind
happened
of
about
the
him.
same for me. And if I wouldn't have a girlfriend, it would definitely be more like me. That's why I was like, Dennis, if you don't fucking buy fucking CFTs now, I will pay for it on Windows Live Store. So fuck you.
Yeah, you still owe me money, but okay.
Fuck you.
Still owe me money.
But yeah, now I have a girlfriend, and oh my god, it's
And she buys all the
expensive.
games for you instead. Perfect.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, because I literally waste all my money on fuel to go to her because she wants me to go by car, and it's 400 kilometers. I mean, ugh.
Can't right, you just spend money on food. And going out with girlfriend, but hey.
I just have money and don't spend it. I guess that counts.
Alfie, give me 1,000, please, thank you.
Could, but why?
Why not?
Earn your own money, fatso. Pull your weight.
I am.
You're an adult.
Anyway, back
Yeah.
to
Yes, move on.
back to topic. Next up is fish beans.
Fishy.
Big game. That's all I'm saying.
What
Thank you very much.
bad can I say about him?
Nothing. Actually, he's infected.
For you, it's
that's-
what good
Nah,
can be talked about him.
He's
about what
infected. That's the bad thing.
I am.
Infected.
But he probably doesn't know.
Plague bearer. Yeah, he's actually got it.
The what? The
What do you think? Fucking
V?
Black Death. Yes.
Damn. That I actually don't know. Yeah, that's actually damn. Fuck.
I suppose now 17 more people know it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Like,
South Africa seems to be a place that doesn't really have the social distancing kind of thing under control.
Yeah.
So-
So never does England.
Estonia is pretty solid, especially. I mean, Corona Islands. I mean, that literally has 0 confirmed now. Well, confirmed of course, but active cases, 0 active cases.
So you won't
So
die
they're
when
good.
visiting your girlfriend anymore.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Fishbean's really fucking nice guy. I mean,
Fish is probably sitting there like, "Mwahaha."
Oh, okay,
These
perfect.
fuckers.
Oh, perfect. That means I can now just shit on him and ruin his
talking about
entire scheme.
talking
Um,
about shit. I mean, I don't understand why does he do selfies on the toilet.
Fuck
That's my
exposed.
question.
Exposed, yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone has received one by now.
Yes.
probably.
You know, it's like fixes nudes.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I had to go there. Come on, there's people who actually have lists of this these days. It's hardly a secret anymore.
Oh.
No, I'm just not gonna go there.
Yeah, no comment.
No, I went there so you guys don't have to. Let's continue in Fishy.
It's surprising that I didn't go there, but Alpha did. The one person
Not
who
really.
usually doesn't go there.
No, actually, I'm not surprised at all.
Alright, so next person or anything about Fishy?
I guess from my side on Fishy, just to add, he is really I think the most lovable guy
Yeah.
there is on Just Cause right now.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna sign. Never mind.
The only thing is, I guess I can say this just like that. And Fishy, this is no offense, but he's usually he usually plays the opposite of a devil's advocate whenever it comes to a decision, like in terms of moderating.
Oh,
He
fuck.
usually favors, he usually speaks in favor of people more than against them. And the thing is, that's not a problem, but it's just something that's just. It just says even more how nice of a guy he really is, I say. What's so funny?
Look at the map.
Dennis, did you just do it, Dennis?
Yes, he did.
Maybe.
Dennis. Just look at the
I'm
car slowly
riding in a
strolling
Fury,
down.
what'd you expect?
Oh. Alright, next person. King.
Oh,
King
King.
Sogan.
He's just cool. There's just nothing to say, nothing to like say bad or good. Just cool guy. In
Yeah,
When-
literally that.
to just
When he's in a dickhead move, he's a fucking dickhead. But other than that, he's really fucking nice.
Isn't
yeah.
that your comment on everyone they talk about them?
Actually true, now that you say it.
With him, I mean, he
1 sec. I'll pick you up. Yeah, continue, sorry, already.
Slurring.
he's not that rude, but he just like whenever he gets pissed off, he gets proper pissed off and just goes ham.
I'm dead.
I did try
Yikes.
to break, but this thing has no traction. I want my Camacho. I guess from my side on King, since I literally have known him throughout my entire Just
Oh,
Cause
fuck.
history. He's just a guy I've come to rely on as well. He's someone I rely on for opinion. He isn't that active anymore, which is fully understandable considering he's literally been playing this for over half a decade.
Mad respect to him with the photography stuff. I looked at some of his works and it's actually fucking class.
Pretty good, yes.
But yeah, we've not actually agreed on everything we've decided on ever since, but he's normally just a level-headed guy to talk to, and like, I don't think there were ever a lot of cases where we really argued or had like just had started hating each other. Like, he's just a solid guy. Like Daniel said, he's just a cool guy. Not much more to say. So moving on.
One thing I would like to add as well, that
Absolutely.
just cause wise, it was kind of weird when I got at the start of when I started playing in Nologam. I got compared to him a lot because of the playstyle, but later on it was completely changed because he was doing his Urga thing and I was just completely hands-on combat. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like being a pro or whatever, we're pretty fucking same. And I still remember the fucking was it 20? No, it was like 10 to 20 minutes. We just battled straight, and it was a nightmare. Until I managed to win somehow, because he didn't spawn Urga in time, and yeah. Fucking Dennis, fuck you. Fuck both of you.
Those kicks. Alright, so we're moving on.
Yep. Wiz. Wizard
Wiz.
of North Continuum.
The nth continuum.
I actually don't have that. I think he changed his name from No End.
Possibly. It used to be the nth continuum.
Yeah, it used to be indeed. I guess I'll start. I completely
Go
forgot
for
some
it.
of that. Cool guy. I mean, he was one of the first staff friends I had. I haven't
What
talked
rank
to
was
him
he back
in a
then?
while. Mod.
Okay.
When I started to talk to him, he was a mod. Also, fuck one of you.
I only have one hand, so take a guess.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, he was a really nice guy. I mean, back then when he was a moderator, as soon as he saw Dirk, then he went insane. Either he chased down those Turks with a helicopter or a plane and shot a rocket in the face, or I don't know, just he had something
So
against
TLDR, pew
Turks.
pew, kebab, go away.
Yeah, he had something against kebabs, as
Aw,
far as I
I'm-
remember.
I mean, we
Good
just called them
jockey.
kebabs, so.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about it. He's a pretty nice guy.
To add from my end, he is a really cool guy, and I still like him today. I mean, I made him not only a trial mod, and then I then made him an admin.
Yep.
The problem is, at least back then, I mean, it's been a few years now, people mature over time, but he used to be very hot-headed. He was kind of like me back then. I was also a very hot-headed person, but he would stick out more, and it went to the point where I had to fire him over just causing too much trouble when moderating. But that didn't actually like worsen my opinion on him in the long run. I still like him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dennis, I actually wonder what your experience with him.
I kind of
has been.
first met him when I was trial mod. Well, I kind of met him like as a player before, but like, I actually first started talking to him as a trial mod. He was actually a really cool guy. Just like gave me tips and stuff, and just was fun to talk to really. Yeah, just seemed really cool. Had no bad things to say about him.
Alright.
That's about it. I mean, I have a few other people, but not really point worthy, to be honest.
Just go over the names real quick. Like, just list all the names. Maybe if we want to comment on someone, we can do it.
It's only two people, Patrick and Anzi.
Okay. Hansi, I have no comment on. Paddy, I already elaborated on earlier a lot. I mean, I did point out at the end, I don't disagree with him, like with his decisions for the, or like, I see his reasoning, that's the thing. I disagree with him, obviously, but I get his reasoning, and I get that I was also being a dickhead to him a couple of occasions. But overall, we wouldn't fit together. Yeah.
Alright, so I guess now it's the Q&A time. If there is
Q&A
any
time,
questions.
boys! We made it 2 hours 23 minutes into the broadcast, and we're finally
Um,
listening to the bullshit you're
And now we're
writing
after
in
my
chat.
announcement of it being soon, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
so
just
feel
not
free to
available.
announce that the questions and answers are going on now.
While you do that, I have to drink a sec. Well,
Actually, good
drink a
point.
bit
I
one sec.
really need water. My fucking mouth is dry. My throat is
Mate, you're not
fucking desert.
sitting in your sound booth like I do. This thing is warm.
I mean, yeah, I'm not. I mean, why didn't I fill this bottle? I usually don't have bottles around, and for the first time that I do, I don't fill it with water. Fuck.
Oh, that was needed.
Alright, let's wait a bit before we start answering questions. Just.
We can probably
Get
start
some
answering from the
people.
beginning, and everyone who comes late just doesn't know the questions beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good, but.
I'm just waiting for
also-
people to actually ask questions.
I mean, there is one question.
Hang on, I don't have the Discord open.
Can you do another member review all donors?
Yeah, all donuts would be way too long.
Yeah, way too long. We'll stay here for all night. And I have to start driving in 7 hours.
Fun.
For 400 kilometers. So,
I'll actually be
I'm
catching
a-
up with the chat in the meantime while we wait for people.
Dennis, did you put an announcement up?
He
Yes,
did.
I did.
He even added everyone again, so everyone, like you said, everyone's gonna hate him, but
Oh yeah.
people don't ask questions now, they don't have questions.
Add everyone again. I mean, if there's no questions, then might as well just end it. But
But yeah, of course, like if there's no questions, it's over. Oh, Rosa stopped watching.
I'm not gonna wait here for the whole
I wonder why.
night. Oh my god, my ass is sore. I haven't sit on the fucking chair this long. Oh,
Someone counter-tagged you in off-topic, Dennis.
indeed.
Ben.
I was about to say ban, but hey,
Great minds think alike.
I don't hate you, Dennis.
I do. Fuck you.
I just got, oh yeah, in staff chat actually. Linky asked if you want, you could talk about. Actually, yeah, we skipped a topic, didn't we?
What topic?
Didn't we want to talk about like upcoming projects and stuff like that?
Yeah, what you're currently working on.
We fully skipped over that, I suppose.
I know, yeah, we did. I
I mean,
went over
if,
it because
if
I looked
anyone
at the time.
wants to, I can elaborate on that. But for now, I'll tackle Linky's question. Did I read it out already?
Hmm?
His question was if you could talk about us, as in, I presume he means the staff members, and what I see in the future for ASF, which is a good question, I agree. So, in regards to my staff team right now, I'm actually quite happy. Over the years and, you know, over half the decade I've been running this, I've had a lot of dissonance in my staff team, a lot of incompatibilities, and just people who just wouldn't get along. And even though I would want both of them to be around, you know, I ended up either having to decide to get rid of one of them or wait for them to dish it out somehow, which usually ended in one person quitting anyways. Right now, I don't feel like that's the case for the staff team anymore, finally. I feel like I actually have a well-structured staff team just of people who do their job well, who are active, and who don't cause additional drama on top of what's already happening on the server. I suppose this kind of turned, like the drama within staff tuned down around the same time the drama on the server itself tuned down now. But at the same time, of course, a lot of people switched out, and yeah, I'm happy with my current staff team, minus Dennis, who just doesn't play.
Agreed.
Funny I have to say agreed because I agree, but hey.
And in regards to the future of ASF, there isn't much really to say in regards to the future of ASF. As long as I deem the player count, worthwhile of maintaining the server and the community, I'll still be maintaining an active amount of staff members. I'll still put time into coding because I still have way too many things on my list. Not many of those are actually big features, contrary to what people probably expect. A lot of it's just like things that make my life or staff's life easier. But there's a lot of things that I also want to have on the server for my completion. And as long as there's people who still play, I am still motivated, though not 24/7, of course, to put time into the server and to improve it and to work on it. And I suppose, even though Just Cause is obviously very dead at this point, it could be worse, and there's still a significant amount of talk going on, like on my Discord, on the Malta Discord, I suppose, on the main JC2MP Discord. Like, Just Cause 2 is not dead yet. It's not fully inhabited by voiceless randoms yet, and it's not empty at any time during the day yet. So, for now, things just continue. But I can't make any predictions as to how long this is gonna last. Probably longer than most people think, though. People deemed this game dead back in 2016, and here we are in 2020.
Oh yeah, there's so many times that I thought this game is actually, proper dead, but then it just got completely
And then
revived.
Steam gives a sale, and then hey, here we are again.
I mean, at least for 2 weeks until the chat ends.
Is that my yacht that you're looking at over there?
Yep, looks like it's my yacht is there.
Where are you? That is my one, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look
actually-
on Rotti's map and you can see that it doesn't have a marker, so it obviously is.
I'm surprised it doesn't have a blue one, but I guess it doesn't show on the menu map.
No,
Yeah, I
it
think so as
does.
well.
Next
Oh,
time
okay.
it's-
Like when you get closer, it doesn't show ranged. He's out of range for it.
I don't know.
Yeah, is there any other questions from anyone? Anything ASF related, non-ASF related?
Well, it can be related to us personally as well, of course.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
podcast, etc.
Dennis, are you single?
All my life. Hard life.
Yes
on
and no, I suppose.
How come?
We can talk later.
Meow.
Meow, private
Yeah.
time. Actually, no, knowing you, it's gonna be like the minute the podcast ends, you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, I'm feeling tired. I'm just gonna go to bed.
I'm
I have to
actually
get
feeling
up."
pretty energetic, wink wink tonight even.
Oh, ready to mingle.
Always.
How are you energetic? You've worked today. Like you normally end up feeling tired just sitting at home all day.
That's the thing, like work makes I guess I'm tired.
Because-
I guess I'm not tired, I'm exhausted, but I'm not like sleepy tired. My body's aching, but like
No.
don't
It's
think-
because he actually promised to be on podcast, and I told him, I swear, if you don't show up at the podcast, I'm gonna
yeah, threats
kill
mean
you.
nothing to me. But yeah, I promise I'll be there, and I like to keep my promises. So
Otherwise, you cannot be the big penis.
I'm not turning up to be the big penis move, but you know.
Yeah, but you wanting to
Sigh.
prove a point by being a dickhead is also a penis move.
Maybe.
I should add a
Especially
counter for
when
the
I say,
amount of
like-
times Dennis ditches us, by the way.
Yeah.
Never happens.
Ah, shit.
Chat,
Sorry, my
never
sounds-
happens.
My sound studio is collapsing, hang on.
Especially when I was going out with Ellie. I mean, Dennis asked me where am I. I said I'm out with Ellie. What happened to fucking hose before hose? I mean,
Hose before hose, yeah.
That's Dennis' motto, yes. Hose before hose.
yeah.
Oh boy, gotta out me life like this. Why are you doing this?
Okay, R0TT, you should know Danny does not operate by bros before hoes.
Yeah.
If he gets any reason not to spend time with us, he happily accepts it.
No, that's not how it is.
Oh, so what happened when we were supposed to play Insurgency? When you even
Kinga-
initiated it?
Then
What
it's-
happened when we
Kinga
wanted to
is
play
playing
GTA
Valorant
together
and she
and-
wants you to join, so
She what?
she wants you to join Valorant.
Bye.
Yep.
I'm kidding.
exactly.
I'm kidding.
But
what happened
one
on
thing that I
Friday?
fucking hate about you is that when I point out any game that you wanted me to buy and we never fucking played again.
I mean,
you're
Danny
like,
explained it
"Okay,
at the beginning.
Let's play it then. Let's play it tomorrow then. Alright.
You never come back to me.
You never come back to people.
You never go back to people indeed.
Yeah, that sounds like a personal problem on your side, to be honest. So,
It is personal problem. The personal is fucking Dennis.
Pretty much, yeah.
I love you lot. Insurgency after this? Yes.
I'd be down.
Absolutely die. I'm gonna go to bed. Gonna fucking
You'll
wake
just
up.
die on the road for my life. Stop being a pussy.
I mean, I almost crashed twice actually because of the sun.
Third time lucky.
Yeah. Because my eyes don't tolerate sunlight that much. So I need to definitely wear glasses. And even with some glasses, if they're not strong enough, I'm kind of screwed. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
looks like there's no questions, so I guess podcast can end.
Indeed. Well, everyone asked 10,000 questions while we were talking about things, and now everyone either left or is just...
Nobody asked anything. Actually, well, yeah.
During, yeah.
No, there were a few questions and comments that were, you know, expecting a response. A couple of times I heard people being like, oh, why is this now a ranting about people stream or not? This is not a podcast anymore. I'm sorry, but last time I checked, podcast is a podcast
Literally
even
that.
if you start talking about people and your opinions on them. Once again, this is just our opinions. If you have a problem with how we think about you, that's your problem, not ours.
Yeah.
It's just a podcast like this is a good opportunity for us to actually state this. Because when do you like have a chance to just go to a person, tell them you don't like them for reason X, Y, Z? It's not something people normally go out to do.
And thing is as well that I rather have someone be honest than to be like just genuine and just, you know, pretend to be like okay with you know, for example, if a person is a massive dickhead and they're just like, no, you're okay. I mean, of course, if I think it's like, fuck, I'm so tired that my words just getting mumbled. But also getting scrambled. It's like a boss effect, so you don't have to like your boss, but you have to be nice to him. That's the type that I hate, because I think you should always be honest with people, even if it hurts them. But you shouldn't go overboard and just intentionally hurt their feelings. Just give an honest criticism. You know.
Now that you say it, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
But I still love you.
But you should also give a reason why. If you're gonna be like, saying like that.
Because you are what you eat. Well,
I was gonna say, I was gonna say you're a dickhead because you're a dickhead. I suppose this qualifies. For Dennis, it works.
Yeah, it does.
So I suppose I took it a step further and just applied it to you as well. Perfect.
Nah.
Nah, don't worry.
I have a girlfriend. Okay.
I'm just still scrolling through chat. And I'm stuck.
I can't bother
Oh, no.
finding good socializing subjects. What's socializing? What's a society?
What's the outside?
What is the outside after Corona? How did the Corona treat you lot?
I was single for 12 hours. You?
Low.
After lockdown lifted, I couldn't walk. Especially when I went to this place. I discovered
That's
that
so
my
confirmed.
that's I can confirm that my girlfriend is very scary, and that's about it.
Abusive relationship, cough. What?
Oh yeah, next podcast we're tackling R0TT's relationship.
Yes.
How about no?
I don't see why you wouldn't want to.
I'll sneakily send the link to her.
Oh, quality. On my end,
No, we have pretty private. Well, we pick the people that we talk about, like about our relationship and all. Because of course we joke about it a lot, but you know.
so you
never
already
talk
do
about it.
counseling sessions, okay? Then we don't have to do it. I love you,
Can you
R0TT.
I'm
stop
too
uploading?
tired to process what you even said.
Okay, that's fine. Nothing of value. And to answer your Corona question, it killed all of my fancy plans for events I would have attended and worked at this year, and ended up making me go super full autist mode at home. But it wasn't too bad after all. It was a good time to like introspect and, you know, work a bit on myself as well. Self-reflection is key to self-improvement.
Can you stop offroading? I'm in a fucking supercar.
I'm in an off-road vehicle that only has rear-wheel drive and no grip. Fuck, stop whining. Yes.
For me, it was kind of shit because I started to panic a lot because I lived in the capital, and I was
Nav.
considering.
Yeah, I seen as well. Hey, Nev. He reacted to the post. I knew he.
Oh,
I expect
damn.
him to watch. Not sure if he's been here the entire time. If not, watch the VOD. That's going to be up on R0TT's channel afterwards. We're ranting out people for a
surprised that he's
while.
here, but yeah.
And, you know, talk about Nologam and things.
Oh yes, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, for me it was kind of weird because I had a tough decision of either leaving work or just staying in the capital and hoping that it wouldn't get worse. And oh boy, it got worse, and I'm glad that I left. Because it was especially worse for me because I was working in a storage that was also open to the public. So it was technically a store as well.
It's fine, just wear a mask and wash your hands.
Oh
And
yeah,
maintain
that would
social
definitely
distancing.
help.
Well, to an extent. There's plenty of people actually working in shops.
And
I am. Okay.
and thing is, there were a lot of foreigners as well that came by there. So I was like,
Well, the other
I'd rather
social
go
distancing in shops doesn't happen.
Hmm?
Like, people just bunch around each other in shops anyways. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not just there, just also out on the street.
Yeah,
Whenever it
I
goes
know.
to, like, you know.
Yeah, buses, everywhere.
but yeah, I was just bored as fuck and just pretty much waiting for the military service to happen, which is well soon.
We
Yeah.
finally get to invade other countries. Good people.
Germany first.
Oh, you try.
Sure.
I'll personally keep you out, and I'm not even in the military. Because
I
Germany
will
abandoned
get Poland's help.
conscription in 2008.
But is there anything else? Should we
No,
end the
I just
podcast?
scrolled through the chat briefly. I mean, I did reload the page at some point, but
No, there's
there isn't
nothing really.
anything I find like useful to address anymore. Except, of course, yeah. I mean, you already said it. Doing an opinion of all donors would be A, ridiculously long, and B, it, for most people, would just be like, oh yeah, that's a person.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, pretty
no
much.
offense, but we don't, or at least I don't know most of my donors personally. Like, I can barely say more than a sentence about them. Just because it's been so many, most of them I never even met in person. They just became donor through staff.
Met in person, lol. Imagine.
Well, met in person as in, you know, directly. As in person as it gets when you're on the internet.
Met just in person.
Yeah.
Get it? Just in person.
Nap just put
Kirsty.
something in chat.
There is actually a question.
Semi. It's actually more on the Corona topic.
Oh yeah, Nav. Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, should we end the stream though?
Yeah, that's fine by me. My cave is getting. Hang on, there's one missing stuff, chat.
Oh, for fuck's sake, now
Okay,
the
no, good,
questions
good.
roll in.
Fishy wanted to ask a question but couldn't think of anything. Oh, good. Yeah, let's end it here before I literally suffocate in my sound
is
studio.
apparently, Amuti asks, does Dennis remember me?
Yes, I do.
Aw. You two
even,
get a room.
even I remember him because I mean, the fucking battlefield rifle. So, yeah. Yeah, enjoy almost 3 hours. Fucking let's go on for 15 more minutes. I mean, the last minutes will be, of course, very awkward and just more silent.
What 60 is trying to say, by the way, is Oh, never mind.
Alright.
Different topic. No, good. Alright, we are going offline. First of all, let me say bye to everyone. We can do it in order. Just so everyone gets to say bye and I hate you all. No, but for real, first of all, Roti.
I really despise you. No, guy.
Yes, I despise you, Roti, but I also thank you for organizing this. This was a pretty cool thing. I didn't actually expect it to happen, and I'm amazed you could find the patience of getting this bloody fatso to make some time in his not busy schedule.
I was about to actually like get someone else because I was so fucking annoyed by Dennis.
Oh, same. But hey, it happened.
Yeah, it happened. It finally managed to happen. Because I was like, especially yesterday, I got confirmation I could have gone today to Ellie's place. But I already made a promise that, well, podcast is happening.
Be
Like,
Dennis,
well, shit.
bros before hoes.
Yeah,
This is how it
literally.
works.
And thing is,
Shout
Ellie,
to the viewers.
Ellie is sick, so I could have, you know, helped her. So
And
fucking
yeah, Dennis, you should feel
appreciate
bad about
this.
yourself as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks, Dorothy, for doing it, and thanks to all the people actually went out of their way to watch us just ramble about things for the most part for nearly 3 hours now. And yeah, if you didn't see all of it, I highly recommend the VOD. It's a quality, low quality podcast about Just Cause for the most part.
Dennis?
Yeah, was fun. Not sure why you all saw 3 hours of this, but hey, drop your sanity if you did. Yeah, thanks, Roti. It was actually pretty fun. Surprisingly, no, I'm joking. It's pretty fun. It's good. We'll do again in a year when he's back from military. It's okay.
So in a year.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. That's going to be a bit of a cutoff. Yeah, no, it was fun. It's pretty cool. And see you guys around in game.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely something. I was more worried about things going wrong,
That's
especially
awesome.
with my internet and especially the thunder, because for me we have to pull the plug when the thunder comes around. So that's another factor that I was worried about. But yeah, I mean, the experience was definitely cool. I mean, first time doing podcast, and of course, well, a lot of notes to be made if we do another one. Definitely, yeah, in next year for sure, because I'm going to the military for 11 months. Of course, there are times that I can go home, but most likely I will spend it with my girlfriend. And yeah, I think just having Dennis and Alpha for the first one was definitely a good idea, because, you know, a lot of stories and holy fuck, copyright. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that a lot of people actually stuck around. I mean, not a lot, but still, some people.
Oh, we
And-
haven't changed much in terms of view accounts.
Yeah, I
Some
mean,
people
only
went
very
off,
few.
but some new joined.
Yeah, and I actually hope like it was good enough that if there is another demand for it, then
We can
definitely
arrange
do
for
say so.
something.
Yeah, we can arrange something, and also definitely suggest the people you want the podcast to be with, because
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was thinking of having other people on. I mean, I'm kind of sad that Arthur didn't join. I was hoping that Arthur would be in TeamSpeak, so I could just drag him in as well.
Should have messaged them, to be honest, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, on Just Cause things, he would have been out of the loop anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just to have him on during the pleb introduction stuff, it would have been interesting. Especially, you know, Alpha and Arthur part. That would have been interesting. But yeah, thank you for watching the podcast, listening to podcast. Anything that just didn't work out, so we had to switch to GTA. But other than that, yeah. Quite an experience, and definitely we'll see if we make another one. And I guess we'll post it in events again.
You can post the VOD, by the way, when you have it in...
Oh yeah, I will definitely see how I can transfer it to my YouTube, because before it used to be you just tie your YouTube account to Twitch and they will do it automatically. But now I need to quickly check how to do it.
You can
will
download a
definitely-
VOD off of Twitch, it has a download
Yes,
button, and then you just
but
re-upload it.
3
It's gonna be
hour
double
upload.
compressed, so it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, 3 hours as well.
3 hours
quite
of
a big file.
upload. Ugh.
Nah, it's already pre-encoded. It's not-
I'll see what I can do. So thank you a lot for watching, listening.
Yeah,
And yes, I will definitely link the Twitch VOD itself. I mean, I'll see if I can include the chat somehow. But yeah.
VOD includes the chat.
yes.
Okay, good.
Twitch has chat replay.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Right, then, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
See you.
Bye-bye.